Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I am still one sore mother. Had a bad night sleeping, and my legs tightened up a little bit on me. I was feeling a little bit better last night. We will see. I took some ibuprofen, and I'm icing. But time for work. Time to educate. Um, sorry, I'm not taking phone calls. No, we're teaching class. I just had a call, and I taught her economics on the call. How about that? So I said, I'm here to teach. But I think she understood goal. I said, try to tell it to your boyfriend or husband or father and see how they understand it. That's always the hard, like Bobby's going through that, telling his family, hey, this is what it is. And they all look at him like he's nuts, and he'll get the last laugh when it goes up. So yes, Bobby, it is now 12 o'clock. I started the fast at 5 o'clock Sunday night. So we've gone 24, we have gone 48, we have gone 60 at 5 a.m. and add 7 hours to that. So we're at 67 hours. We'll be 72 at 5 p.m., 5:30 roughly. I don't know if I'm going to go till 5:30. This is where the dilemma comes on the fast, because I had coffee, tea, and now this is what I drink, Bobby. So it's water. I put a tea bag in it. There's ice. There's cinnamon floating around. And that's basically what I drink. And basically, it was helping me, but now I'm really concerned because my back's still tender, and I don't know what to do with it. It felt better after the hot tub yesterday. So I don't know. Normally my feet by this time are fine. I'm doing cartwheels, but now it hurts. But I think it's because of the way I slept. My bed is too soft, or I couldn't get the right angle, and it was just tightening up. And I'm like, no, tighten up. So I got to get a way to kind of sleep where I don't tighten up, at least for a day or two. So I'll hit the hot tub later. That really helped, the hot tub. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not on the bike. I can, just walking a little bit. It's all I can do, which I don't like. I want to keep walking, but the 3-day fast will help because there's no food coming in. So even though I'm not able to work out on the bike like I want to or walk the lake, I'm still at least in the pool and in the hot tub doing some little work. So I am at what did I say? 5, 7. I'm at hour 67 right now, roughly. And we'll see. We might go to 75, but this is where the dilemma comes in. Do I get through this night and then sleep on it? And now I'm at 84 hours, and by noon it'll be 90. Should I dare do that? But you got to realize this, the only time you can do that is after, like now I'm going to be 72 hours at 5 o'clock. So at that point, to get to 72 hours again, it's rough. So when you're there, then your mind starts getting, it's sort of like these teams trying to win like a three-peat or back-to-back, and like the Niners tried to go three-peat, right? And they win the first two. But when you don't hit the third one, when they lost to the Giants with that Roger Craig fumble, you got to win two more to get back to three. And that's really the hard part of it. So that's what makes it. You go for three after you won the two because you'll probably never get back there. Now you got to win two again. And, it's just really tough. So on one hand, yeah, it's good, the 72 hours. On the other hand, I'm really close. If I waited till tomorrow, and I could be 96 hours, which I've never been. That's rarefied air for anybody. Now, why my butt's still hurting, I don't know. And I really don't know what to do with it. I've heard everything from a masseuse, get a massage, go to a sports medicine type of place, go to whatchamacallit, God, I can't think of the bone doctor, we'll call him, chiropractor, or the sports medicine. It's not sports medicine, but something like that, right? Where it's sports thing. But I don't know that this is an exercise thing, like, oh, stretch it out. I don't know that's what this is. This seems like almost like a joint thing where, it's hurting my joint, or it could be gout in my hip instead of my foot. I don't know. I might take more. I got 3 more gouts I can take. I might do that. All right. So let's go. Let's talk NBA. I had a really good day yesterday. Let's get to it. So today is the 20th, so we'll go back to the 25th. Hawks 119, Boston 117. Boston was up 3-1. Atlanta had their back against the wall. Lane 13.5. I think I took Boston to finish it, but I was staying away from 13.5. So, here's where I argue. Okay, you took a money line. You lost 230 on the money line. Oh, no, you lost 1,000 on the money line to only win 610. This is my point of the money line guys. So you would have bet 1,000 to win 100 on the Celtics even, and they lose the game. Now, what I don't like is instead of getting 1,000 with Atlanta, you only get 610. What kind of crap is that? That's why I'm against money lines. So I got to lay 1,000 to win 100, but I only if I bet 100, I only get 610 on Atlanta. Well, in a football game, if I lay 3, I get 3. I lay 3 or I get 3. I don't. It's not like I lay 3 or I get. It's not like I lay 10 or I get 3. I mean, that's kind of what the money line is. It's a very bad sucker bet. Anyway, so I would have lost that one. I didn't play it. Here's where I did win. Minnesota getting 10 or 11 against Denver. Denver was up 3-1. That was it. And I said, Minnesota, they're going to play well because it's do or die. So they won. So look, Atlanta must win. Well, yeah, they win. Denver against Mini must win to stay in the series. They lose by 3, getting 10. That's why it's hard to lay a lot of points. And my last one I'm most proud of is San Diego. Phoenix 136 to 130. Lane 12.5. I said take San Diego. Again, do or die. So Phoenix wins the series, but again, this is my whole point. They don't have to win by 20. They just got to win game 4. And when you're laying 12, they're going to be up by probably 20. I think I noticed it at the end of the third quarter. It was like 16-18, and here comes Clippers. And they lose by 6, getting 12.5. There's a W. So now let's start keeping track. So teams with the back against the wall, Atlanta wins, Minnesota wins, San Diego wins. That's the theory. Now let's go to today. So we're going to keep score now. Cleveland and the Knicks. Cleveland minus 5.5. New York's up 3-1. I believe Cleveland's the better seed. So we're going to, first game, take Cleveland. Minus 5.5. Pretty strong. Second game, Memphis 4 over the Lakers. Lakers are up 3-1. Memphis is the better team. Home 5. Take Memphis. Minus 4. Milwaukee and the Heat. Miami's up 3-1, but apparently the star's been out for Milwaukee. He's back. They're laying 12. This is our lock. Milwaukee minus 12. We're going to put for 10 stars. They must win. And the last one, the Warriors and the Kings. The Kings have the guy injured. The Warriors are favored by 1.5. The series is tied at 2. It's not back against the wall, but it's pretty damn close because if Golden State wins, they win game 6, it's over. So really, Sacramento must win this game to go 3-2. So I like Sacramento, but smaller. Plus, as a home dog, 1.5. They're making way too much out of the injury. As we've seen, the injuries don't really mean a lot on a team. Maybe like Tom Brady, if Rodgers was injured, that'd be about it. Otherwise, it's not. So 426. Let's say Cleveland minus 5.5 5-star, Memphis minus 4 is a 10-star, Milwaukee minus 12 is a lock, and Sacramento plus 1.5. We'll play that for a 2-star. So that's a little bit less because we don't need it as badly, right? Because they're 2-2, so they could lose and then win game 6 in Golden State. But what we want, what's best for us, is Golden State. If Sacramento wins, goes up 3-2. Now Golden State's got them at home in a must-win. Then we jump on Golden State. That's our lock in game 6. And then game 7s are usually won by the home team. That's your NBA. And we're starting to get, on to the next series. And we'll look at that. So this is what you want. New York 3-1 against the better team, and the Cleveland's at home, and they're only laying 5.5. Now, in the NBA, teams tend to look better at home because it's the role players, right? It was always Michael Cooper would look great at home, or Byron Scott, but then he'd go on the road, wouldn't do anything, and then Danny Ainge would look great in Boston, but he wouldn't do well on the road. Bird and Magic, it didn't really matter. But that's what you're looking for, is the role players play better at home because the crowd's yelling for them. This is why they're role players. They're not intelligent enough to be the star where they don't care about the crowd. A Bird, a Magic, an Isaiah, Kareem, those guys, Lambert, they didn't care where they played. But a lot of players are role players and only play well where they play. So keep that in mind. So that's the NBA today. Let's see. What do we got with NFL? No, we got to go to the other one. We had the Chiefs over the Eagles 38-35. It's still there. God, I love that one. Let's quickly go to anything new. So let's quickly look at the series. So Denver's won 4-1. They were the 1 seed against the 8 guy. I didn't know Denver was the 1 seed. Denver was the 1 seed. Minnesota was the 8. Denver wins 4-1. Phoenix is the 4 seed. San Diego the 5. Phoenix wins. So it's Denver and Phoenix, the 1 against the 4 soon. Then you have Sacramento, Golden State. Sacramento's the 3 seed. They should win tonight. Golden State the 6. And Memphis is the 2 seed, and the Lakers are the 7 seed. But again, LeBron's now playing, so they're really not a 7 seed. So this is a pretty even matchup. And we have no idea yet. We got Miami. The 8 seed is beating Milwaukee, the 1 seed, 3-1. But Milwaukee, this is it, man. This is lights out. This is game back against the wall. They're going to play their best game. They'll probably win by 30. No question about it. Take Milwaukee. They're down 3-1. They're the 1 seed. Then you got the Yankees and the Cleveland Browns. The Yankees are up 3-1. And this game, I believe, is in Cleveland. So Cleveland must win it. So Milwaukee and Cleveland, I look to tie these series up. So keep betting them. Philly beat Brooklyn. The 3 seed beat the 6 seed 4-0. And then Boston, Atlanta. Boston's up 3-2. They're the 2 seed against the 7. So it looks like Boston will play Philly unless they just screw it up totally. So who knows what you'll have? I mean, you might have Miami and the Yankees. It's going to be Boston's going to kill them. You get the 1 seed out. Boston's in the playoffs. And here, is Denver really the best team in the West? Is Phoenix? Is Golden State? Is Sacramento the 3? Is Memphis the 2, losing 3-1 to LeBron? So you really don't know what's going on there. All right, let's go to the NFL. For Belichick, this draft has monumental stakes. He's a bum anyway. Oh, he's the greatest coach that ever played because he had Tom Brady. Yeah, it's like Phil Jackson saying he's the best coach that ever played because he had Michael Jordan and then he had Shaq and Kobe. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could have coached those teams. All right. So let's go. Let's go to the news. Is there anything there? Brock Purdy brought more attention to Mr. Irrelevant. Oh, stupid. XFL. What does that got to do with it? The draft. Now, the draft's tomorrow. Draft begins 8:00. Like, who cares? So we looked at this idiot McDonald's draft last night. What an idiot this guy is. This guy loses all credibility. Bryce Young 1, Richardson 2, Levis 3, really, to Houston and Tennessee. That division's going to suck. Houston won't win a game. Tennessee won't win a game. Maybe one because they play each other. And then Indiana. So all three of those teams need quarterbacks, and all three are taking terrible quarterbacks, and all three are going to – what Houston should be taking is Jalen Carter from Georgia. No, they're letting him go to Seattle. Watch Seattle make a deep run with Frisco next year. That's a beautiful pick for Seattle. Will Anderson on Atlanta. Yeah, good luck on that one. Anyway, so that's kind of the mock draft from this moron, Charles McDonald. So really not much to talk about in the draft. Let's go through, let's do the Teaser Kings draft. So I can do this by rote. So Buffalo, 13-3. What do they need? They need defense. Von Miller and Micah Hyde, they have to replace or hope that they can play. They need a running back. So they need some secondary help, some defensive. They need a lot of defensive help and a running back. So Buffalo's first pick should be, and it's going to be late, should be a defensive guy or the running back. There's the guy Charbonneau, I think it's a guy from UCLA, used to play at Michigan. He's a really good one. Also, a guy from Utah is really good. Keep an eye on those guys. Georgia has some, not Alabama. I don't know about LSU, Bobby, but I don't know. Utah's got to go. And I'm sure the Big 12, well, we know Robinson from Texas. Oklahoma probably has some, and TCU, absolutely. They have that good receiver. Miami, 9-8 last year. Who does Miami need? Well, they need a quarterback. They have the running. I don't think offense is their problem. I think defense is their problem. So they need, Iowa State's got some guys. Washington State, that's where they need to go, get some linebackers or running backs or get defensive line and line. They got to have a better defense. Their defense sucks. But for us, it's great because they're a good over team when Tagliabue doesn't have the concussion. New England, 8-9. They need defense. They need a quarterback. They need a running back. They need a receiver. Say goodbye to Bill Belichick. He's out of here because he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, realize he sucked at Cleveland, and then he falls into New England, and he falls into Tom Brady, and he happens to play for 20 years, Tom Brady. So keep that in mind, but this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't drafted a receiver yet. In 20 years, he hasn't drafted a good one. The only one he got was Moss on a free agent, and they need running back. They desperately need it. They should be playing Zappy, and they need some more defense. The Jets, who we love, have added Aaron Rodgers. They should get Jake Hayner. They should get that quarterback, because give Rodgers 2 years, especially if they go a deep run in the playoffs. He's already handled Buffalo last year, Rodgers. And he handled the whole division. He played New England, and he beat them. That was Zappi's first game. He lost to Buffalo, and then I think he beat Miami. And then the Jets, I don't remember what he did. So you've got Rodgers already, but he's old. So he's okay. So you can this is perfect. You either go get Trask from Tampa Bay, or you bring in Hayner or maybe Stenson Bennett as the future. But they're strong defensively. They could use a running back and probably a receiver for Aaron Rodgers, maybe an offensive lineman in the 3rd or 4th round from Ohio State, Michigan, something like that. Cincinnati, man, if they get that tight end from Notre Dame, Mayer, or Kincaid, the tight end from Utah, look out, because they got Chase and Burrow, and they got Mixon, maybe another running back, maybe an offensive lineman they certainly need. But I would take Mayer, and then I would take the offensive lineman in the round 2, and then get some defense in round 3 and 4, so they can challenge Kansas City a little bit better. But they played KC well. It was tied with the stupid late hit bullshit call when he takes a dive from the guy who's got the high ankle sprain. Looked pretty damn good running. So Cincinnati, give them a tight end. Baltimore, I don't know what's going on with Lamar. Doesn't matter. They don't need him. They need Bennett from Georgia. Bring in Stenson Bennett from Georgia. They will go to the championship game, because they got the defense. Then you pattern a little bit of running back, bring in a round receiver, and you're pretty stacked on defense. If you can run the ball, you keep it away. Bring in one of the tight ends that didn't go, fine. But really, they need Bennett would make them, because he's ready now, and they got the defense. Pittsburgh, same thing. They need Bennett. Get rid of Pickett. Pickett sucks. The defense is pretty good. Bring in a little bit more. They need probably a receiver, and they got a pretty good running back. So they need the quarterback. That's it. So bring in Bennett. I think he'd be better than for this scheme. He's better than Hooker. Hooker's got to go to Green Bay or Minnesota, a passing type of team, not Pittsburgh. Cleveland, who's their quarterback? Oh yeah, whatchamacallit, Watson. You don't need a quarterback, although I don't know how good he is now after sitting out 2 years. You can't just go and play and say, yeah, we got Deshaun Watson, and he used to be good, and we'll just assume he's still good. No, I don't know that he's the answer. They probably, need a quarterback, but they got a fairly good defense. They got good running, maybe a receiver, maybe some defense. You can always use defense. Jacksonville, they need a quarterback. They need defense. They need wide receiver. The whole team they need. Somehow they finished 9-8, but they got to get rid of Trevor Lawrence if they want to be competitive. I don't know. I would go after defense here. Remember, they gave up 31 points to San Diego. They just got lucky. San Diego stopped playing. But when Lawrence was in a pressure situation, he threw 4 picks against Kansas City. He didn't do anything. Their defense couldn't stop KC, which nobody's can, except for Baltimore once in a while when they're healthy, or Pitt. So Tennessee, 7-10, need a quarterback. If they are stupid enough to draft Richardson and or freaking CJ Stroud, they need their heads examined. The correct quarterback for them probably, I don't even know if it's Jake Hayner or it's, I don't know about Stenson Bennett. Stenson Bennett you need for right now, and Tennessee's, defensively they're okay. I don't know that they have Henry anymore, so they need a running back. They need balance, right? So you need a quarterback, you need a running, and you need a receiver. So they need the whole thing. They seem to be bad. Indy, God knows, they need the defensive guy from Georgia or a bunch of them from Georgia and Iowa State and Iowa, Illinois, Washington State. They need. I would just go get 5-6 defensive players. Picking up Richardson as your quarterback, then you'll see them go from 4-12-1 to 0-17. Well, maybe they'll tie Houston again. 0-16-1 will be Houston. Will be Indy. Houston, if they pick up C.J. Stroud, will go to 0-16-1, tying Indy. That's not what they need. That's not going to help them. No, they need to keep with Mills is fine. You need some defense, and there's a lot of it. Kansas City, we've got Kelsey, we've got Mahomes, we got the Green Bay receiver who caught all those passes. For KC, they've got the running backs, Chocolate Eclair and Pacheco. They need defensive help, so they should go after Washington State, Georgia guys, Iowa State. Just you know the drill. That's who they need. San Diego, the same thing. If they go after that Heward, the receiver Hyatt from Tennessee, they're out of their minds. Unless they got rid of Williams and the other guy, then you need Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, and Dwight White here, and you got Bosa and Khalil Mack, so you're pretty close to what you need, and James the safety. So you need Mel Blount and you need Hambert and Lambert is what you should go after. Oakland needs a coach, needs a quarterback, needs all sorts of shit. I would draft defense if I'm Oakland. Denver, you've got a great coach coming in. Who I can, what's his name? Anyway, so Sean Payton, right? So Sean Payton, Russell Wilson will be better. Their offense will move, maybe an offensive lineman in the 3rd or 4th round. Get some more defense. It's the play calling. Watch him bring Kamara over or Thomas over from New Orleans. Look for Denver to challenge Kansas City and San Diego for the top spot there. If KC gets some defensive, if San Diego gets some defensive players, they're going to give KC all they want. And if Denver can, they got Russell Wilson and they got Sean Payton. All they need is give them a couple of defensive studs from Georgia, Iowa State, Washington State, and give them. They got Melvin Gordon and Russell Wilson, and you got some receiver. Maybe get another receiver or tight end. Denver is not a 5-12 team with Payton. So if you get into these little, how many games will they win? I mean, it's such bullshit on the radio. Well, they might win 10 games. I hate that shit. So in that case, Denver really needs a tight end, a defense. You got Russell Wilson, you got Melvin Gordon. You don't need that. You need a third receiver, tight end type, which you get in later rounds, and that's about it. So Denver, look for them to be much, much better. Give Kansas City and San Diego all they want. All right, NFC, Philadelphia, 14-3, Super Bowl team. Need a quarterback. I think they're running backs, but I don't know if they're still there. Defense, suspect. And we'll check about the receivers are pretty good. So what I would do is as Philly, I'd get some secondary and linebacker help from the colleges I name. They need a good quarterback. Hurts can just run the ball. Sorry. Now, they gave him a lot of money, so they're not going to be interested in a quarterback because they think they have one, which they don't. And then look for them, maybe another running back. Get the kid from UCLA. Charbonneau would be great. I doubt they'll be able to get Robinson at the end of the 1st round. Dallas needs a quarterback, although I do like Cooper Rush. Prescott's terrible. If they got rid of Elliott, they're really going to have to BJ. They need defense. They got Micah Parsons. So they need some secondary help and just more depth. They had a good defense. The defense wasn't their problem. Prescott's their problem. So they got rid of Kellen Moore. No, you get rid of Prescott. So watch San Diego flourish with Kellen Moore. But Dallas, they need, they're not going to get Sharp. Well, they'll probably could get Charbonneau. They're not going to get Robinson. But if they take him, but I don't think Robinson's going to be the running back from Texas. I don't think he's the answer. Again, they lost 17-10 to TCU. We saw Georgia score like 800 points on them, and Texas got 10. So just be careful how good he really is. The UCLA guy's better. Yeah, that would be good too. Thompson Robinson would fit here. Hayner would fit. Well, they got Cooper Rush. The Giants need a quarterback. If Barkley's playing, they need defense. They need receivers. Go on and on and on. If I'm them, I'm taking the defense right now and a receiver. So the first pick is going to be Lawrence Taylor Jr. and whatever linebackers or defensive linemen. You've got to shut down Philly, so you need defensive linemen to shut the run down. And then you got to get rid of Daniel Jones, I would think. I don't think Hooker would go here. I got Hooker going to Minnesota or Green Bay. I don't think he fits here, but he wouldn't be bad. I think Thompson Robinson would be good because he scrambles a little bit more and with their weak receivers. So they need maybe Thompson Robinson late, but you need the receivers coming in. That's what you really need. But the first round's got to be a stud defensive player, LT. Washington, 8-8, good defense. They need a quarterback. They have the running back. They need some receivers and a tight end and offensive line. So they need a little bit more offense, but I would still pick up some cornerbacks or linebackers. You can always use another Jack Ham and another Mel Blount on your team. Here you go. Minnesota, they should trade up to get Hooker and get rid of Cousins, and they would probably go to the Super Bowl. They need a little bit of defense also, but you got Cook at running back, and you got Jefferson at receiver, and I think they got the guy from the Lions at tight end. All you need is Hooker. You got your offense, and then I would get Hooker first, and then I would get 3 or 4 defensive players. Again, Iowa State, Washington State, Georgia, and that's what I would fill up. The Lions at 9-8 need a quarterback. I think they got Montgomery from the Bears, which was a strange acquisition. I'm surprised they didn't keep the guy last year who scored 35 touchdowns. What are you letting him go for? And you're adding Montgomery. The offensive line was good. I really wouldn't touch their offense. I would trade that guy from Alabama from last year, the gambling guy. He's just too stupid to be on your team. And I don't – what's he going to do? What name an Alabama guy has done anything? Oh, yeah, Julio Jones, 6 years ago, and then he's had hamstring problems. Waddle, okay. Devontae Smith, okay. Nothing special. No Jerry Rice in that group. So I would have gotten rid of them. I would have taken the 2 Georgia guys, and my defense would be set. So now they need defensive line help. They need Jack Ham, Jack Lambert. They need Mel Blount. They need a lot on defense. You had the worst defense in the league. Don't draft another offensive lineman, and certainly don't draft a wide receiver. Are you fucking kidding me? So they need defense bad. Their first 5 picks should all be defense. Now, keep in mind, Goff is not the answer. So at the end of the draft, if Hayner's still there or Thompson Robinson, they need to draft them. Hooker just doesn't fit with them. He's too good for them. Green Bay needs Hooker. I would trade up to get Hooker. If you think Jordan Love, you think's any good, they got the wrong Love. The Josh Love from San Jose State's much better than this guy. So they're going to go nowhere without Rodgers. They are poorly coached. No Rodgers. They'll be lucky to win 5 games next year. They need Hooker for sure, and then all the defensive help. They need defensive help. They got the running attack. They got that good receiver, number 9, Christian or whatever. So they're really they need a quarterback and some defensive help. The Bears, they need a quarterback. If they got rid of Montgomery, they need a running back. They need receivers. They need defense. They need everything. So just, another year of Fields, they'll be lucky to go 3-14. I don't know what anybody sees about Fields that it makes him any good. He runs. He's not a quarterback. You went 3-14 with Fields, and they beat New England because Belichick, the great, doesn't know how to handle a running quarterback. Okay, get a quarterback. They need one. I think Thompson Robinson would fit really good on that team. Tampa Bay, you've got 8 and 9. You've got Trask. That you got your quarterback. Running backs are okay. The receivers, are they still there? Evans and the other one. You need a tight end, and then defense, you lost all of it. So you've got Trask. So I would go after defense here, and you've got now who stayed, right? Did your running back stay? Is your Fortnite? Is Fortnite still there? Is Evans still there? You don't need them if they are. If they're gone, then you need them, and then you just need a whole pile of defense. I would just have my phone attached to Iowa State and Washington State, going, okay, who's your best player? Okay, bring him on, bring him on. Carolina, 7-10. They'll be lucky to win 4 games if they add the guy from Alabama, McElroy, whatever the fuck his name is. They need defense. They got rid of McCaffrey. They need running backs. They need receivers. This team will never. They'll be lucky to win 4 games. New Orleans. Now, how many players are they going to lose to Denver to go to Sean Payton? So if Kamara is healthy and Thomas is healthy, and I think we know the quarterback, I don't remember who it was, Andy Dalton, I think. And their defense was pretty good. So they need some defensive players. That's about what I would take. And again, Andy Dalton's fine at quarterback. Off you go with that. Atlanta desperately needs a quarterback. Desperately has running, needs receivers, needs defense. So if I'm Atlanta, my first pick has got to be defense. And then I'm going to pick up Thompson Robinson in the 3rd or 4th round as my quarterback. See, on a team like Atlanta, you need more of a running quarterback like Thompson Robinson. Then you do Bennett. Bennett, he runs a little. Bennett's more like, Aaron Rodgers or Burrow. He's not really going to run a lot, but he can run, but he's a quarterback. And that's what, so Thompson Robinson from UCLA fits better because he can run a little bit, and their offensive line sucks. They're more of a running type of team. They desperately need a receiver, and they desperately need a bunch of defense. So this team should just be same thing on the phone with Iowa State, Washington State, Iowa, Illinois. Give me your players. The Niners. Now, if Brock Purdy is able to play, they're in the Super Bowl. If he's not able to play, they need to draft Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett will get him in the Super Bowl. He's only won 2 fucking national titles in a row, so he can't play. I love hearing these idiots talk about this guy. Well, is he too small? Is he too old? Like, aren't the guys in college the same height as the guys in the pros? Are you saying the Georgia linemen aren't the same height in college as they're in the pros? He had great running backs. He had a great tight end. And the Georgia quarterback this year is supposed to be better than him. He's supposed to be a real stud. So if they can get Bennett, if Purdy can't play, they've got the defense. They've got McCaffrey. They got Deebo Samuels. They got Kittle. They are fucking loaded. All they need is the quarterback. So give them, bring in Stetson Bennett or Hayner. Hayner could take him to the Super Bowl the same. Seattle, yes, they need defense. As far as I know, I don't know, did the wide receivers sign? If you got Metcalf and Lockett and you've got Walker, Geno Smith's fine, then go get your defense. You're going to get that defensive stud from Georgia. Well, the next couple of picks are going to be defensive studs from Iowa, Iowa State, and Washington State. And they are freaking loaded on defense, those teams. That's what Seattle needs. Then they can compete. The Rams, what do? They need a quarterback. Stafford, even if he plays, he's on his way out. He's injured. He was never any good anyway, but okay, so maybe you get another year out of him. Cooper Kupp, is he back? I don't know. He hurt his knee. He's not. It takes a year to figure. And then Aaron Donald they got, and they lost Ramsey, so they need some secondary help. They need some running backs, and then you got to have a receiver to replace Kupp, and then they need a quarterback. Here, a Hayner late and or a Thompson Robinson would be very good. And last but not least, the Arizona freaking Cardinals. What is going on here? Kyler Murray sucks anyway, but now he's injured. He's not playing for probably the whole year. Because if they go 2-12, they're going to say, well, why play him at all? So here's where you have a good chance. You either trade for Kyle Trask if Tampa doesn't want him, or you go with Arizona. They need defense really bad. They got receivers. Well, now they got a new coach, so who the hell knows? They got running backs and receivers. They need the quarterback. Thompson Robinson would fit here. See, and I can't go with the first group because they're gone. CJ Stroud shouldn't even be drafted, nor should Richardson. So those two guys I don't even talk about. Levis is nowhere near the class of Hooker, Bennett, Thompson Robinson, or Hayner. He's not close to that. And the guy from Alabama, what are you looking at? Oh, he played for Alabama. Yeah, so did Mac Jones and Tagliabue. How did they do? So that's why I don't even mention them. So if I'm looking at Arizona, maybe Thompson Robinson fits there because he can run. Hayner would fit there. He's a very, very good quarterback. Hooker, maybe, but they're set up too much of a running quarterback. At least that's what they show you with Murray. So I'm scared to take Hooker there, and that leaves you our fourth quarterback, which is Hooker, Hayner, Thompson Robinson. Oh yeah, and Bennett. So I don't think you want Bennett here. I think Thompson Robinson fits. Hooker doesn't fit, and Hayner would fit here. So those are your four real quarterbacks that you want to draft, not the top four. The top four will all be busts and are a waste of time. If you think CJ Stroud will be the first Ohio State quarterback to do anything, you're out of your mind. Yeah, look at Fields. Yeah, he's a winner too. Or JT Barrett, or go down the list. What was that? Caldwell Jones, who won the title for him in 2014. Yeah, how did he do in the pros? Ohio State's offense in college does not translate to the pros. And the quicker you understand that, the quicker you'll stop shoving Fields and Barrett and CJ Stroud down everybody's throat. You'll realize these guys suck. They're not pro quarterbacks. They go to the wrong school. Michigan used to have a lot of quarterbacks come in that were good. Lately, no. Their running backs is good. If their running back's on the board, I would take him. He'd be a good one, whatever his name is. I don't remember. And, there's running backs to find. There's a lot of receivers you can find. Again, the offensive linemen do not get drafted before the third round, and it's going to, in my world, the third round pick, okay, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, maybe TCU now, UCLA. I mean, it's Stanford, or not Stanford, USC, Utah. It's not hard to find offensive linemen. They're sitting there, whoever's senior and they're there, there's going to be 30 of them. They're all the same. Because I'm going to blitz you, and I don't care who you get. You can have John Hanna as your Hall of Fame thing, or Anthony Munoz. How many championships did they win? Oh, 0? Yeah, because that's not where you win. You don't need the great offensive line to win. You need a strong offensive coordinator you need a good balanced offense with a decent quarterback, preferably Joe Montana. And you can even win with Troy Aikman, who was substandard. And then you got, like, Steve Young could never win. He was terrible. But you need a smart quarterback with a good coach who can coach balance. Am I going to run or pass? And stop telegraphing it and bring in the Dave Casper play. If you just bring in the Dave Casper play action and we hit the tight end, I could quarterback and get you to the Super Bowl. Because they're just selling out for the run, and then the tight end's wide open. Dave Casper was wide open because Oakland would fake that run into the line with Mark Van Eegen, and he'd be 20 yards old, and Stabler's like ballooning it to him, and there's nobody in the screen with Casper. He's wide open. It's not that hard. Just do that Dave Casper play, fellas. So that's the concept of the NFL draft. The linemen come third round past from those schools. The defense, you just the best, like this Georgia guy, he's the first one, and then you go from there. And I do not like the Alabama kid. He's not a first round pick. I don't know why people are saying that. There's 5 guys on Georgia, and I guarantee you there's 5 guys on Washington State better than this guy. So I don't really get Will Anderson is let's get him. Why? Well, what did he do? What did he do? Oh, it was the 50 points Hooker put up on him from Tennessee. Well, guess what? This is the NFL. It's all Tennessee offense. It's all Hooker throwing deep passes, and Will Anderson was nowhere to be seen. Didn't make any sacks. Didn't make any plays. So what's he going to do in the NFL? He's gonna look like the rest of the Alabama defensive players, which do nothing. Alabama's the most overrated team to take pro players I've ever seen. I mean, you'll get a defensive lineman and the guy sucks. You'll get a running back and he sucks. Again, I like the guy in Pitt. Let's not go let's not go 100%, but about 90%. Julio Jones. Oh, he's got a hamstring pull for the last 6 years. Waddle, okay. Devontae Smith, okay. Not Jerry Rice. And then you have look at the biggest game last year in the championship game. Devontae Smith drops the pass. If the Shanahan would have challenged, that was 4th down. They would have got the ball. They might have won the game. I mean, because then does Purdy get hurt on that, or what do they do? So that's what you got to do with that. So with that said, I can eat in only 2 more hours, and I'm going to start eating something. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wait till tomorrow and try to go 96 hours. I've never gone 96. Okay, let's check our gold price. Well, something happened. Gold tanked at noon. It's 1986, was it 2000? And silver is 24.78 at 30. What did the feds do something? Who the hell knows? Again, it's paper. It's not real. Just ignore it. Nobody is selling their gold or silver, except for it's some people who need to pay their bills, have the gold, go to my coin store, sell him the ounce. He rips him off. He doesn't even give him spot. A guy's a joke. And then, so the guy needs the money. He gets $2,000 now, or roughly $2,000. Well, he'd get $19.85 roughly for his ounce of silver. But you're not buying it at $1,700 to sell it at $19.85. You're buying it at $1,900 to sell it at $25,000. If you can hold on to it, if you don't need the money, so that's why you buffer the money out and then have the gold, so you don't have to cash it in. So that's what's going on there. Let's look at this headline. China's debt black hole. Saudis scrap Hamas. They're doing a lot of the China debt black hole. So let's talk about that. Why? What is China's problem? Their currency is heavily inflated. They're heavily in debt. Their housing market crashed, and they're buying houses. They were buying houses, so they're selling houses here. So keep in mind, we are not U.S. strictly. We are U.S., China, Russia, Japan, Germany, France, England. Everybody's buying our houses, our stocks, and everything. So don't think it's just us. And that's a big misconception. And then, so what's happening? China, if you have money in China, and don't forget, we also had our money in China's housing market, and we got crushed, or whoever was stupid enough to put it in there. Again, this is why you can't trust China. They're communists. You can't trust these people. You can't trust the Russian people. That's why they're coming out with the gold balance, because nobody can trust them. So if China said, well, we're going to have the yuan, nobody would buy it. They'd say, fuck, you're not any good. The problem is right now, I think where I would go if it was me, I would go to my own currency and back it by gold. I'd be independent like Switzerland. I do not want to be part of BRICS. I don't want to be told what to do, but I also want to have a gold-backed currency. So what I'm doing is buying the gold-backed currency, is buying the gold and have the gold-backed currency is what I'm doing. I'm not joining a group. That's ridiculous. Look at NATO. Look how that's helped, Ukraine. Yeah, that really helped them. Look at Poland. Their military is super strong because they got killed in World War II. And they said, we're not going to get caught between the Russians and the Germans anymore. And they're a much stronger army than the Russians, and the Germans don't have an army. But I see they're trying to spend for one, which is totally ridiculous. They're not supposed to have one. Let's see, World War I, World War II. Every time they get an army, they cause a world war. And I heard from when I was in Barcelona how there's a lot of Nazis still in Berlin. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, you're not going to see me visit there ever. I'll go to Austria and I'll go to Switzerland and I'll go to Spain and Portugal, but I ain't going to Germany at all. You couldn't pay me to go to Germany. I don't want to put a swastika on and all that shit. And don't kid yourself. They haven't forgotten. That's not going anywhere. Let's see. So, did you know China has a police force in America, in the U.S.? And who's in charge of that? Oh, Biden let them come over and is not doing anything. Now, I don't know. I've not seen them, so I doubt they're in Detroit, but that's pretty freaking scary. There's a Chinese police force. I'd be really leery about that. All right, let's go. Here's an interesting one. Putin's collapse will be worse than you think. Revolt in the Kremlin. Some idiot explained Putin's collapse will be worse than you think. Who the hell? See, these are things you don't know. When he collapses, he collapses. If he doesn't collapse, he doesn't collapse. We don't know he's going to collapse, so we can't really. It's articles. It's stories like this that really bother me because it's hard to watch it because it's a myth. It's hypothetical. I don't care about hypotheticals. All right, let's see. So let's go to let's see. See, when you see an idiot like this guy, you just delete it. Trust me. Who says that? Do I ever say trust me? No, I never say trust me. I'm telling you the truth. So it's not like, can I be serious? I swear to God. Like now I'm going to tell you the truth, but the rest I'm not. You will become a millionaire. Yeah. 30 times price flood in gold. It ain't going to be 30 times there, fella. 30 times 2,000 is what? 60,000? Yeah. It'll be more than that. Let's see. All right, so I watched Andrew Maguire, greatest silver squeeze of all time. So let's go into this.
Who will eat the sandwich the most? As far as commodities are concerned, silver will outperform, with expectations of record prices being achieved in 2023. Andy, we've had a ton of questions that the spec CTAs.
Okay, let's go through these 5 minutes here.
And those that remain are sticky. So the current action is 100% naked short momentum sellers tricked in by insiders short covering into them. Opportunities. As a result, March silver has suffered a much more aggressive chart painting attack, which has left wholesalers largely sitting on the sidelines looking for options gaming to offer better prices. However, liquidity providers are assessing this selling should begin to fade into returning Indian spot silver demand, who are reported to be locking in spot silver at the fixes to accommodate continued strong physical retail demand. We saw that on the Monday, Tuesday fixes already. We haven't looked at the fix today, but certainly we saw that. But given that India consumes 85% of all the global physical silver consumed, all the 2020 global silver production, and despite the 5% import duty increase imposed upon the silver market last week, 2023 India demand alone is expected to be sufficient to create a supply deficit on its own. Ultimately, this will reignite global wholesale physical demand. Now, it's clear
Metal raise
short
prices.
sellers are using any and all thin conditions to take out each day's prior low by a couple of ticks, hunting for stops, but it's not generating any notable further sell ignition, which illustrates there are scant few specs left to rinse, and all the selling is naked short momentums based really with insiders again long against them, stealthily, I'll say. Now, the LBMA CME cartel are wrong-footed, and given physical settlements are increasingly being squared outside the LBMA CME siloed spot ring fence, utilizing diluted spot silver to benchmark EFPs and or to force delivery at the back doors of the COMEX. The cartel is now desperate to short cover naked short silver bets, but again, limited to how much CTA and momentum short sellers wrong footing they can generate. Almost every trading bank is now positioning for a Fed-triggered commodity supercycle with expectations of record commodity prices in 2023 across the board. Into this, even Goldman Sachs is talking about this. Into this supercycle, gold, silver are grossly undervalued. As far as commodities are concerned, silver will outperform with expectations of record prices being achieved in 2023. Now, following a scramble by, if you remember, Trafigura, when they blew up, these are the guys that blew up the nickel trade last year, they just scrambled to square up copper warrants. That was just over 3 weeks ago, disclosing that they had 577 million of losses related to an ongoing fraud in the nickel market. Now, this comes on the back of them being bailed out by the LME back in March 2022, allowing market maker JP Morgan and other too big to fail banks to allow Trafigura to default on physical delivery. This commodity boom, along with unfactored Russian move to step up the pricing of all commodities, including silver, pricing gold grams, it raises the odds of a dollar-priced inflationary silver short squeeze. So really, as a final kind of summary, the full gap gold futures close into the January 5th rally point. It was completed. What it did was run head-on into large reported waiting central bank buyers. The first layer of them, that is, at 1820. Now, momentums will continue to try and keep auto selling gold and silver into every dollar tick higher. So each tick of the dollar, they'll be selling it, because that is the algorithm they employ. However, from what we have just discerned, central bank buying has recommenced, swapping dollars for gold, which will increasingly force insiders to hedge physical exposure. Now, looking at the footprints in the NSFR compliant gold market, we've also evidenced momentum naked short selling in gold too, which has meant refinery offtake as lackluster as clients understandably wait for possibly better prices. Not happening in Russia though. That is the opposite is happening in Russia. Now, short term, this action is somewhat self-fulfilling on this side of the globe. However, it is perfect for off-grid central bank and sovereign demand, which liquidity providers continue to get reports of stealthy buying. So as a component of the official US-driven anti-gold PSYOPs operation, a lot of planted Russian gold market disinformation has been permeating the market from time to time. Reporting that Russian central bank is selling gold. Absolute rubbish. What is missed is this relates to the gold digitization process that it's ramping up, which I've heard will likely be publicly confirmed early next week. Now, anyone thinking that the most sanctioned global central bank has any reason or obligation to publicly disclose their movements of central bank assets are going to be blindsided.
Active trade for options allows for a quicker options trading experience.
As far as commodities are concerned,
I'm looking for my response. There we go. All right. So I go on here and I look at comments. So what did he just say? Well, it's all what he's been saying. It's going to go way up. COMEX blowing up, and it's just central bank's going to keep buying it and look for this huge thing. That's why I say there's no risk. The only risk is if gold and silver can go down, which they can't in physical. In paper, they could, but we don't care about paper because it's all going to physical, which means you hold the coin. So I had a class with a lady just before this class, and I was walking her through it. And I says, I'm curious how your husband and or boyfriend and or father will react to you saying to buy gold. But I was zero risk, huge reward. So I'm very curious how that'll happen. But that's really, you've got demand. And according to him, India demand is more demand than they have silver left. That has to raise the price. And that's only in India. How about Russia, China, and the other countries are going to also raise it. So look for that to get much higher. So it's just, it's in 2023, just keep going with it. And again, the most curious thing will be once this dollar goes to zero, right? It doesn't have much left. What is the new currency so we can go to Kroger's and go get Morton's and, use our money? It can't be debit and credit cards because that's not money. The credit card's not money if I don't have money in the bank to cover it. So if I got $1,000 in the bank, I can then spend $1,000 at Kroger's and Meijer's and everywhere else. But if I don't, it's not like I have money. And the credit card's the same thing. I got to pay it back. So I put my plane ticket on the credit card. I got to pay it back now. That's what happens. So let us look at what the Teaserking did. All right, so I'm going to show you, then I'm going to read you. This is what this guy says, and here's the professor's response. So let's go back up here. So I'm going to read this. Russ Beam, COMEX London trading paper, silver at 250 to 1, question mark. Is silver really worth 6,000-ish per ounce? Zero accountability. What a joke. This shows you this guy is a Keynesian. He has no clue the difference between paper money and physical. John comes on and says paper silver is a joke. Okay, we understand that, but that's not what we're talking about. Physical silver, this is the professor. Physical silver will be $5,000 an ounce easy. It's the only real money in gold. It's the only real money in gold, not paper crap. So you've got to own gold, not the paper crap. Constant word salad. How does this guy get so many views? So this guy, Elay, whatever, is wondering why Andrew Maguire gets views because he fucking knows what he's talking about. Constant word salad. Yes, if you don't know what you're talking about and you're listening, it'd be like if I was listening to Russian. I know a few words. Is that word salad to me? No, it's because I don't know. This guy doesn't know, so he's saying that. Then I go, Teaserking. He knows what's really going on. He's very hard to follow. No, he's not. You just got to know what to listen to. Some other guy. If he would stop using slang and use the King's English, so to speak, it would be much. No, he's using what he's using is banking terminology when he says like the moat and the ring fence and all that. I know what he means, but yes, he shouldn't. He's talking banking and not. He's not talking the other. He's talking banking slang, which, we don't know. It'd be like me talking football slang to him. He wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Tease the dog. We know it from football, but he doesn't know it. All right. So then there was this one on Hunter Biden. Watch Ron Johnson break Biden's whatever. So what happens there is they know Hunter Biden's colluded with China, Russia, the mayor of Moscow, and the Ukraine. And then they got seats on the board, and it was all payoffs and mafia bribes. And here's where I'm running with this. So I was watching something on Tubi, which was based on the 9/11 again. And it was all a bunch of engineers. And what the engineers said, see, here's where I argue with people about the U.S. government, about this whole CDBC and electric car bullshit. Here's the U.S. government. So they do 9/11, which is totally destruction. It's not from the airplane. It's proven. There's no way there's no way the plane ran into the building and it collapsed. It's impossible. Could never happen. And we'll go into why in a minute. So this is how stupid they are, right? They can't get their reason. And they did all these demolitions. And what is it called? Technoline or something with the T. It's a military grade explosive that is really hot that melts the steel. It's 4,000 or 5,000 degrees, right? The airplane only burns at 600 degrees. You cannot melt steel at 600 degrees. So here's how stupid the U.S. is. So they do this cover up, and they're trying to say, oh, well, it was the airplane ran into it, and that's what caused it to go down. No, it's impossible. Not only that, when they build the building, they build it on these massive trunks or whatever, and they would never collapse. That's why they build them. They build them for hurricane winds, so the building doesn't go. The building was made to not go down. The only reason it went down is because they used demolition and they used this techno thing or whatever it's called. I apologize. You military gun guys will know. So it was a demolition job. And if you watch closely, you'll see it coming down. You'll see these white puffs of smoke where the demolitions are being blown up. And the other thing was the top starts going. Well, wait a minute. The plane didn't hit the top. Why is the top going down? Secondly, if it did, it would go like this, and then it would stop. And that would be it. It wouldn't have went all the way to the ground. Thirdly, so the heat's not enough, but the way a normal building would go would be this side, and it would kind of run out. It would never go like this, and it would never go 6 seconds. That's impossible. So what they're saying was these explosives that happen down below are what caused the building to collapse. Well, that's not an airplane. Who the fuck did that? Oh, more government conspiracy, more government assholes blowing up 3 buildings. It was a gold robbery. We know that. The guy insured the building for $1 billion from a terrorist attack a week before. Everybody on that floor were on vacation because the company that did it told everybody to stay home that day. Yeah, but that's all. And then the engineers are all swearing up and down, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers. That's not the way of building. The building would never fall. He says in the whole history of steel buildings, back 100 years, when they have fires, they've never went to the ground. Normally, the fire doesn't do anything. You cannot burn steel with the fire at 700 degrees. It's got to be over 2,500. So they're saying, wait a minute. First of all, the fire would never have done anything. Secondly, it would never have come down in 5 seconds. It would have chunked down. And then why is the top falling down? The top should not have fallen. So basically what you have is the stardust or the dunes or the sands in Vegas, Sahara, collapsing by a demolition is what happened here. So it would never come down in 5 seconds. It would chunk, and then the pillars would hold it up, and that would have been it. Need a lot more Saturday Pro Football. Why are you holding your phone up to TV? I'm not quite sure I understand your question. Why am I holding my phone up to the TV? I'm not. I'm showing a video, something important on silver and gold. Saturday Pro Football. What are you talking about? The draft? I went over the draft, but I can go through it again. But I will, if I show videos of something important, I will hold the phone up here, or I will show it from the thing and then replay it. So that's what I am doing. Bill's going to get D-Hop. What does that mean, D-Hop? Why don't silver ever go up more? Silver's about to go up to 2,000-3,000 an ounce on its way to much higher. So as I explained, are the Bills going to get D-Hops or D-Hop? Who's D-Hop? I don't know about the Bills. They need defense. They need a running back. So yes. Oh, is that your name? Need a lot more Saturday Pro Football. My apologies. Everyone says economy going bad, and that's a lie. DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, that's not what Buffalo needs, but they need defense. They either need to replace Von Miller or they need to make sure Micah Hyde's back. But I would pick up some defensive players from Georgia, Iowa State, Washington State. That's what they need. If they can get Hopkins, that's not really their problem. Their problem is Josh Allen, and they need running backs. They didn't play Cook enough, but you can't have Josh Allen running into linebackers. It's not going to work. Look at the Cincinnati game. They got killed. Why doesn't silver ever go up? Because it's being price fixed by JP Morgan, called COMEX. We know that. It's being broken up because of the BRICS countries. Brazil, Russia, China are going to come out with $1 backed by gold, and that's going to make silver also back it. It's going to get off of paper onto physical. So right now, it's derivatives that are holding the price down on gold and silver, not market and not demand. Once it goes to this physical, which is what Russia, China, the international bank settlements want, then you're going to see it go through the roof. So buy as much as you can at 25. Everyone says economy going bad, and that's a lie. Why do you say it's a lie? The economy is terrible. The dollar's worth this much right now. It's worth about 2 cents. So the dollar's being crushed. The economy is getting crushed by the inflation. So it's not a lie. That's what's happening. DeAndre Hopkins, sell your stocks and we'll buy them up cheap. Economy fine. Economy is not fine. I would sell my stocks and I would be buying gold and silver. I would not be buying stocks cheap because they're not going to come back. Spoiler, little Mac Jones going to Texas. He sucks. He wouldn't even be playing on Alabama. Houston should not ever be drafting C.J. Stroud or Richardson. That's a huge mistake. How they even got Davis Mills is ridiculous, but that's if I'm Houston, I'm gonna draft Thompson Robinson out of UCLA in the 3rd round. They need defense right now. Patriots to second what? Second pick? And what are they going to do with it? draft CJ Stroud. They got Zappy. They don't need a quarterback. They don't need to trade up. They need defense badly. They need receivers, running backs, and as long as they play Zappy, they're fine. Your position is it should be going up, but it won't because artificially held down. No, my position is the artificially held down gold and silver is blowing up and will not be held down anymore. It's been held down, which we understand, but it's blowing up because the BRICS countries are backing their currency by gold and silver. That's going to get it to a physical, and that's the difference. So once you understand that, then you'll realize. So in other words, what you're saying is that New England still has Tom Brady. So if I look at a New England trend, they got Tom Brady, and they still do, and they don't. And that's what I try to explain. When New England doesn't have Tom Brady, you can't use their trends. You're looking at gold and silver and going, well, yeah, they're price fixed. They have been price fixed by COMEX, by JP Morgan in London. I understand that. But now it's changed. Tom Brady's no longer in COMEX. He's now Russia, China, and they're going to blow it up because they need the physical price to go up. That's what's going to happen. And that's where you're still looking at Tom Brady on New England, betting New England games as if Tom Brady was still there. That's the difference. So you have to realize what's changed in order to understand why it's going to blow up and COMEX will be gone. And once we get the physical gold and silver, everybody is buying it. The demand's huge, so it's not going to be too much longer. Let's see. Texans trading back with the Pats. Why would the Pats trade up? What do they want? You got Zappy. He's better than whatever's out there except for Hooker. And I'd say Hooker and Bennett are the best two quarterbacks in the draft. Silver is good stuff, but just because it should go up does not mean it will. Yes, it will because of what I just explained. You can't keep it down. You've kept it down for a long time, but it's blown up. That's what you're not understanding that. The BRICS countries are coming out with currency backed by gold and silver. And to do that, they need a higher price. The U.S. is blowing itself up because China is running the U.S. So therefore, the silver is broken on COMEX will start to go up. And that's what's happening. So you're going to see 2,000 an ounce silver. And because it's going to hit market, it's the physical market, not the paper crap that they're holding down. They can't keep holding it down. What price? I'm figuring at least 2,000 an ounce. Yeah, 2,000 an ounce, yes. What has changed? Brazil, China, and a few others own currency? No, it's called the BRICS countries. People are tired of being sanctioned by the U.S. They're tired of the U.S. forcing them into different things militarily, and these high interest rates are costing all these other countries. Over 100 countries have gotten off the dollar, and they need a new currency. So this is gone. This is the fat, ugly girl at the bar. Nobody wants her. This is going to zero, right? This is the Titanic, as I say. So if you watch my video, Titanic versus gold, silver's the gold, right? It can't go down. There's no risk. It's going through the roof. This is going to zero. This is your paper dollar because of 100 countries saying, we don't want it. If nobody wants this, there's no value. So where do they go? Well, the only thing with value is gold and silver. You can't lose with gold and silver. It's a zero risk, huge return that you're about to get that you can't get anywhere else. So yes, I would be out of the stock market, but I am not coming back in it. I am going to gold and silver, and I'll make more money in gold and silver than I could ever make in the stock market because the stock market ain't coming back. You've got inflation coming up. You got a depression right around the corner. Quit listening to CNBC or CNN or any of these bullshit stations. You can only listen to people like me who actually tell you the truth and know what's going on. But the economy sucks. I mean, give me a break. Belichick is good because of Brady only. I agree with that. That's what I say. Exactly. Look at him the last few years. He sucked. Just print more money. You can't print more money. That's what I'm saying. That's the Keynesian view. And I'm not a Keynesian, I'm an Austrian. If you print more money, the more you print, the less it's worth. Do you collect baseball cards? If you do, look at Topps. Look at the Topps cards in the 80s. They don't have any value because they overprinted them. You cannot get out of it by printing more money. You can only get out of it by going to gold and silver and anchoring your money. Printing more money just makes the value of the money go down to zero, which is where it's at now. So when all these countries blow black and say, we don't want your fucking T-bills, we don't want your money, we don't want to be controlled by you, all that money comes in, that's huge inflation, and that's the end of it. So they'll probably come out with new currency in the meantime, but if it's not backed by gold, it's useless, just like every other country. It's all blowing up because you can't print indefinitely. Look at 1930 Germany. They printed indefinitely, and it ended up being wallpaper and wheelbarrow money. So doesn't not work. Not trying to be annoying. You're not. What is the ounce price now of silver? It's 25. Of gold, it's roughly 2,000. Again, it's still under COMEX. See, the whole key is the COMEX is going to be blown up and it's going to go to physical, and there's huge demand. That's what we're looking at, not the price under COMEX. It's a fake price. It's about JP Morgan keeping the price low because JP Morgan runs the Fed and prints the money. So if you had a monopoly on printing money, like Money Heist, you don't want competition. I don't want gold out there. I don't want any competition. I want you to take this money and buy stocks and buy bonds, put the money in the bank. And what I'm saying is if you do any of that, you're going to have no money. You're going to be broke. The banks aren't going to give you your money. If you got 100 grand in the bank, good luck. You'll never get it out. The banks will take your money and say, we don't have it. The value of the money will go to nothing because you can't keep printing it. That's what's happening. So with all that said, all these 100 other companies are off the US dollar, all have to go somewhere, and they all go to gold and silver. Look what happened in the Roman times, right? When they had gold and silver, they were the biggest powerhouse ever. And as soon as they inflated and they took all the gold and silver out of their coins, they collapsed. What have we done? We don't have gold and silver in our dollars, and we're printing more. And look what happened to the Romans. And you think if you lived in the Roman times, you'd go, "Oh, we're gonna collapse." Are you kidding? Do you think any Roman thought that? No. Same thing here. These people here don't get it. You want to be in gold and silver now, if anything, because this is going to zero and you're protecting yourself. Forget the fact that the price goes up. We know this price is going down. This will be zero. This is the Titanic. It has hit the iceberg already and it's gone. So you can either pretend it didn't hit the iceberg, or you can say, my only out is the gold and silver. I listened to CNN and Biden, sir. Well, that's your first mistake. I just talked about 9/11 and it was all a cover up. I've talked about look at this Hunter Biden laptops, all a cover up. So you've got to find the truth. If you go on Tubi and you look at 9/11, there's 50 engineers who say that there's no way a plane caused it to go down because it can't burn at a high enough thing to melt steel. And the building would never have come right down. The building would have went a little bit and stopped because all the structure underneath would have held the building. It would never have collapsed. It's impossible. These are engineers, not me talking. So if you see that, then you can go back to CNN and Biden. But CNN and Biden they're just Chinese, run by the Chinese to make you look good, and they're going to blindside you, and you're going to get screwed by them. Everything you say is true, but I will admit inflation stinks. I used to get 2 McDonald's meal for $2.99, and now it's like $6. Keep in mind what inflation is the devaluation of the currency, not the price. What it is it takes $6. So here's what's happened, right? So we have this little dollar, and so what inflation is, I do it this way. Professor, why do you rip the dollar? Because I'm trying to show that it's lost value. So you used to have this in 1913. You'd have this worth $1. Okay, so this was worth the whole dollar. It would buy you a hamburger, it'd buy you whatever. And the more you print, the less it's worth. Inflation is this losing its value. So the money loses value as inflation, period. Because it takes more money because you've lost value, that's why McDonald's and Coke are more expensive. That's why gold and silver are a guarantee to go up, because you're ruining this dollar. So now you've went from here, this gone, this gone. You've hit the iceberg, and now we're at this. From the whole bill, we're at this. And that's what I'm saying. Gold and silver have to go up because this is not going to go up in value. You can't. The genie's out of the bottle, which means you've already printed so much money that it's gone. And so you have only this left. So the price looks like it's going up. It's the dollar losing value is what's happening. Therefore, gold and silver have to go up. So yeah, they can COMEX it and paper it over for a little bit longer. But Russia, understand, you know how much gold China has? 40,000 tons. You know how much gold Russia has? 15,000 tons. You know how much gold India has? Like 10,000 tons. All the central banks in Europe have thousands of tons of gold. There's 32 ounces. There's 32,000 ounces to a ton. 32,000 ounces. And China's got 40,000 tons of this shit. So they want the price to go up. They're running the U.S. It's going up. If you think Biden's running this, and I got some oceanfront property here in Detroit to sell you, it's not going to happen. And I'm trying to be mean. I'm trying to be honest. And what you have is the dollar's losing value. Now, I just went to Spain and I did this. So I go to Spain to prove my point. I went and bought 300 euros out of an ATM, and look at how much it cost me. $366 to buy 300 euros. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you insane? This is my point. The value of the dollar is gone. I mean, it's $366 to buy 300 euros. It should be even money. It's $1.08. It should have cost me $3.24. $3.66 because they add on a charge because the dollar's not worth anything. And that's in Spain, and they got the euro, and the euro ain't worth anything. I would have preferred gold and silver, which I actually brought there, and I give my girlfriend a little gold and silver when I meet her. That's it. I mean, there is nothing. That's proof right there. That's Spain. That's not me. That's what I did in Spain. That's what you got to understand. So it's all going to gold and silver because it's all collapsing because you can't just print. And that's what's happened. So inflation doesn't stink. If you had gold, you wouldn't have inflation. You only have inflation because you're printing the dollars because the corrupt politicians, JP Morgan and everybody else, can just print $1 million, put it in their pocket and say, hey, thank you, or $1 billion, whatever. So that's why they've went to the dollar, because when you got gold, you can't print it. Now, what I say to you is buy physical, buy an ounce of silver, buy ounce of gold, quarter ounce of gold, buy a bar. Do not buy ETFs because they're not real, and do not buy stocks because they're going to get crushed. Then maybe you buy them on the way up. But if you just buy the gold and the silver coins, you don't need to worry about you don't need the stocks if you have the physical. And do not be without physical. So you see gold at 40,000 an ounce, you pay 2,000 for it. Do you need the stock? Probably not. If you're in this and you got 40,000 of this, you ain't even eating at McDonald's because you don't have any value at all. Football. How do you buy a silver coin? Won't they fleece me? No, you go to a coin store. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so this is how I buy my silver. I buy them in 20s. Roughly, they're $26, $27 a piece for an ounce. And I laughed because the guy said, "Oh, sorry, they're so expensive." I go, "These are $2,000 an ounce. You're giving them to me for $29. I'll take all you can eat." So, your question, how do I not get fleeced? This is a silver ounce. Okay. It's got a date on it. It's a Liberty. Okay, Howard, but how do I know I'm not going to get fleeced? Because I'm going to show you right here. It says 1 ounce fine silver, and it's worth $1. This is actually money, but who wants $1 for it when I can get 35 for it, or 40, or when it hits 1,000? I don't want the dollar. But if it says 1 ounce fine silver, $1, or 1 ounce fine gold, then you know it's real. And you want mostly the government, although there's a different type, which is bullion, which is very similar, but you notice it doesn't have the date. And then on the back, instead of saying $1, so instead of saying 1 ounce fine gold, $1, it doesn't. It just says, it says 1 troy ounce, 0.999 fine silver. So if you see these markings on them, you're not getting fleeced. It's impossible. Plus, it looks silver. I mean, if it doesn't look silver, if it's yellow, and it's like gold. If it doesn't look gold and it looks a little strange, then maybe you don't buy it. But as long as it has these markings on it, it says 1 troy ounce fine silver, or here 1 ounce fine. As long as it says an ounce of fine silver on it, you can't get fleeced. So stay away from the bullshit. Now you can buy a mercury dime or a the 64 half dollar, because those are silver. But if you're worried about getting fleeced, you just look, it says silver on it, right? You're not getting fleeced. 1 troy ounce, so it's an ounce, and it's 999 fine silver. The reason you're doing it is so if I want to sell it, and you see this, you're going to take it. You're not going to have an issue at all that this is it. So it's about $29. So you either buy 10, or I usually buy 10, maybe 20 of these. So it runs me $500. And I laugh and I go, well, let's see, 20, let's say $30 an ounce is $600. And it'll hit 2,000 an ounce, and I'll turn that into 20 times 2,000 is 40,000. So I'm going to spend $600 for 40,000. That's a pretty good deal. My risk, 0. There's no way it's going down, and it's being held down. So I know that's not even the real price. That's the key, right? I'm thinking out of the box going, this is not the price. This is a derivative price where JP Morgan's writing all these derivative contracts saying I'm selling 1 million ounces of silver that I don't have. And then his partner's buying 1 million ounces of silver, which he doesn't get. That's not the market. The market is me and you going on eBay. Well, let's say you collect baseball cards. So let's say you have a Mickey Mantle. If you put Mickey Mantle on eBay, let's say it's a PSA 8 and it's 1965, and you can get $100,000 for it. That's the market. You can't derivative that. That's the market. So if it's free, that's what the Mantle card's worth, right? $500,000. Silver is still based on COMEX on eBay. It's not running at market. So our thought process is, when it goes to market, but what's going to make it go to, why is it going to change? BRICS. They're coming out. Nobody trusts the Russians or Chinese, not even themselves. So they got to come out with this dollar backed by gold and silver. Then they will be trusted. And then that price is going to go through the roof. So that's the key of what breaks COMEX. And it's happening very, very soon. As you can see, this war going on, all that shit. And that's why the U.S. is trying to go to war, because they don't want that to happen, because we want the monopoly on this. We've had the monopoly on the U.S. dollar, and 100 countries are pissed off about it. So if you're Switzerland and you want to buy a euro, you have to buy $1 to buy the euro. You can't use your Swiss franc to buy the euro. It's fucked. Well, what are you kidding me? So now what they're trying to do is, okay, you have the Swiss franc and you want to buy euro, you go and you don't need the dollar. And then they got to go back them all by gold because now it becomes economics. What do you prefer? Well, yeah, I want a Mercedes over a Ford all day because it's a better car. And that's what it is. So do you want a gold backed dollar that can't be inflated and your McDonald's won't go up? Or do you want the piece of shit dollar that? So the dollar cannot handle the competition of the gold and silver. Gold and silver will win. And that's why I'm telling you to buy this. You can't lose. You cannot, it's not going down. It's going to be much, much higher. There's no risk. And you have it. Nobody can say, so I do this attack on Wall Street, right? And the guy had $60,000. And the guy says, he goes, you have 60,000. I'll put it in a real estate trust for you. And a year later, oops, the value's gone to zero. And I always said, if the guy would have put his money in gold and silver for 60,000, he'd be worth 100,000. He could never have lost it all. You can never lose it. I can never go zero on it. I can't lose on it. Right now, here it is. We're at the point where it breaks off of COMEX. We're really close to it. That's why I say that this is the Titanic's hit the iceberg. And then this is on the gold and silver boat. And the gold and silver boat's about to leave. And you can't be if you're still in this. So if you just sell this to buy this, you have no risk. Okay, so let's say I'm wrong on everything, right? And this doesn't go out and you have this. Okay, you trade it back. You say, here, okay, give me my $25 back. They'll give you back this worthless 25. That's all you're doing is you're getting out of this. So if you think about getting out of this because it's worthless, then you're going to buy this. You have no risk. You have no risk. All right, let's say. Okay, so I go to a coin store to buy it. You can buy on JM Bullion or these online sites, but they're getting more and more limited and harder to get. So I prefer going to a store. I can look at the coin and then I can give them the money and get the coin and walk out with it. There's never sales tax on it. Don't pay sales tax because it's money, and there shouldn't be anything else. Shouldn't be no 1099 or any of that bullshit. Let's see, where are we? How do I buy the coin? Come on, man. Biden running again, I think. Do you think Biden even knows what day it is? Good luck. I mean, I don't know what you see in Biden unless you want to be a slave and a communist, but that's not the way to be. You can be a lot richer with silver and gold taking care of yourself than having Biden take care of you. How do I get one gold? Same thing. Go to the coin store and ask for gold, or these things online. I would ask for them that they're there, that they're in stock. It's the same way. Like from a pirate ship. Yeah, go find a pirate ship that sells gold. You can do that, but I go to a coin store. Shiny, yes. Interesting, very. Why do you predict a break from COMEX? Because of the BRICS countries. So not much risk, zero risk. Old people can do stuff. Old people can, I don't know what that means. It's about your skill set, right? So if you think about it, you first have to understand that this is hit the Titanic and going to zero. So when Biden came into office and he did his little $10 trillion bullshit fantasy thing, old people can do stuff like president. Well, it depends if you're a good leader or not. And what you know. I mean, and then you can't be a tyrant and you can't be a dictator. Look at Hitler, look at Stalin. That didn't go very well. So it's got nothing to do with old or young. It's just, are you a leader and do you care about the people or do you care about yourself? So the break in COMEX is happening because of the heavy inflation, and nobody wants to deal with the U.S. because of the sanctions and these high interest rates that Powell is putting out. Nobody needs the dollar. And then you've got Saudi Arabia off the petrodollar. So they used to be, if you wanted to buy oil, you needed US dollars from Saudi Arabia. It's gone now. You don't need US dollars to buy the oil from Saudi Arabia. There goes the dollar. It's gone. It's you don't need it anymore, so nobody's going to use it. So demand drops. That's why Comex was initially made in 71 or 72, or maybe 73, somewhere early 70s, to prevent all the countries, because they knew once we went off the gold standard that the dollar is going to be shit. So it prevented all the countries from taking their gold back, because we would hold their gold from World War II. So that's one of the reasons, was to keep the gold price down, so Germany couldn't say, give me all my gold, and then that would bankrupt the U.S. So they tried to keep the price down, but now it's ridiculous. Now it's become crooked. And so therefore, they need money backed by gold, because that's the only way to survive. You can't just have money you can't just print. It doesn't work. It's never worked, and it never will work. You need an anchor. You need something like a gold or silver to keep it down. They even used tulips in Holland, right? In Amsterdam, they used to use tulips. What happened? There was a shortage. It was cold weather. The tulips didn't grow. They had no money. Really, what you're trying to do is exchange, medium of exchange. I want to go to Target and buy some food and buy some clothes. I'm going to give you something to do it. We've determined it to be money, but the more you produce, the less it's worth. So you hurt the value if you keep printing it. That's the problem with fiat currency, where it's just printed. Who is the S in BRICS? Saudi Arabia, or South Africa, I believe. BRICS, yeah, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. Also, Saudi Arabia is in it. Mexico, a lot of like Saudi Arabia wanted to go. Iran's in it. Iraq's in it. All these countries were trying to get away from the dollar, but they don't trust the Russians and the Chinese. That's why they want to get out of the dollar, but there's nowhere to go. That's why they're making the dollar, whatever this new ruble yuan conversion, backed by gold. Then everybody trusts it because it's backed by gold. There goes the US dollar out. I don't need it. Now I have competition. You always are looking for competition, and you're always looking for substitute goods. That's the key to capitalism. It's the key to life. Once you stop at the competition, then you're fucked. And that's what communism is. There's no competition. It's just, we're going to sell you black cars if you like them or not. Well, I don't want them. I want a blue car. That's too bad. You're not getting it. That's the problem. So that's what's happening. That's different. In other words, as I started, New England had Tom Brady. So you would do all these trends with Tom Brady since 2000 to 2016 or whatever. He leaves for Tampa. You can no longer use the New England trend anymore because he's not there. Now you can't use the Tampa trend because he's now on Tampa. You can't use the win trends. And you can't use the New England trends because those are all with Brady. Or on Indy, he goes to Denver. I can't use the Indy trend because he's not there. And then I got the Denver trend I can't use because now I got Peyton Manning. So you need a couple of years to get into the new trend. And that's basically what that's your answer to your why BRICS and why is COMEX going to blow up. Well, COMEX isn't real. It's paper. And so the thing you have to understand is there's paper, silver, there's paper and there's physical, and you want physical. You do not want to be in an ETF. You do not want to buy a stock. You want to buy this. If you buy this, you'll be a very happy person. You'll be very wealthy. You have no risk, and you're going to make a whole shitload. Now, can Biden keep it down? Can the U.S.? They don't want to, because China's running the U.S. and China wants the U.S. to collapse, and they want their gold to go up because they got 40,000 tons of it, and they're fucked because their housing market collapsed. They don't have a stock market in China. Nobody trusts them. You're dealing with communists that nobody trusts. So the only thing people can trust is the gold. China's too stupid to have the reserve currency, as is Russia, but you don't need a reserve currency. This will be the reserve currency. So you're going to walk in, you're going to switch this dollar for whatever the new Titanic is, and then you're going to take one, you're going to get $1,000 or whatever. That's what you're going to go to Kroger's. That's what you're going to go to the steakhouse with that money, or you put it in the bank and use your debit card, but you're going to need it. I don't think you can put this in the bank and they're going to give you $1,000. Maybe they will, as opposed to having to sell it and then put it in the bank. You might be able to go to the bank and say this, but I doubt it, because the bank deals in this and they don't really deal with that. And it would be like the same if the bank, what do you do with a Rolex, right? You got a $50,000 Rolex. Well, you got to sell it on eBay. You can't take it into the bank and say, give me 50,000 for it. You can maybe go to a jewelry store and maybe they'll give you 50,000 for it. They'll probably give you less. So you prefer, most of this is going to happen on eBay, because the jewelry store is going to fuck you and you can't go to the pawn shop. So really it's, where do I go to get the most for my money? And that's really what you're trying to do. But you are in a zero risk money and huge return. And please tell me where else you can find it. Again, Rolex, but Mantle cards, that's, Jordan card, Tom Brady cards, but they're still not money. And yeah, I can go sell the Brady, but this is money and the Brady card's not. So the Brady card I'm going to have to sell. Am I going to get the value where this, we know what the value is because they're telling us, oh, silver's now $2,000 an ounce. I don't need anything. So there I go. I know what it's worth. You're welcome. Need a lot more Saturday pro football. How about Saturday college football? Anyway, so that's good questions. I don't mind. Keep an open mind. I wouldn't be in CNN. I wouldn't be watching CNN if I wanted to get real of what's going on. I think that's a big mistake. And it's like me looking at these YouTube videos of these guys. I showed you Rickards and he's saying this and that. I'm like, I don't buy that. You got to know what it is. You've got to know it, and then you can say this is good or this is bad. That's the key to it, and that's where you're at. What else? So again, watching that 9/11 and then watching the Hunter Biden. So Hunter Biden is guilty, but he won't get convicted because the justices are corrupt. 9/11 was corrupt and it was bullshit explanation. There's no way per an engineer, not per me, it could never have fallen like this unless it was demolition. And that's exactly what happened. And nobody's going to jail for it. Nobody's convicted. The guy didn't even do the report right. Some national report to go through what happened. And then they moved all the steel to China. So they got rid of all the evidence. Yeah, okay. I believe the Israelis were behind it. It was a gold heist, and obviously Bush was behind it, and CIA, the normal crowd who does all the bad things. But my point is how stupid they are, right? So when they do this, they're not smart enough to realize, wait a minute, it can't fall like this unless it's a demolition. The engineers will talk about it, will tell us that, no, this is not right. And so they're not smart enough to fake it, right? So if they're not smart enough to see, that's my point. They should have done it in a way that nobody would have really known. Instead, they did it in a way that everybody's going, wait a minute, the building can't go like that. All your answers are incorrect. The heat of the engine of the jet is not high enough to melt steel. the steel would not fall like this. It would just go a little bit, and it would hit the pillar, and that would be the end of it. If it would never come down. No building had ever come down. People are hearing charges, and then they're lying about that. Oh, nobody heard anything. Prove it, prove it, prove it. This is what the government's going to prove it. Prove I said that. So I want you to go back 5 years on my video and prove I said something. Like, who the fuck can do that? So that's really what you have is things like that where they're so stupid they couldn't like hide it, right? Well, this is our explanation, and people are going, no, that's not, that's you could, the building could never collapse, the fire could never be hot enough to melt steel, and that's the story you're going with. And that the building could never collapse in 5-6 seconds. It's impossible. But if you saw the little white smoke come down, you would see it was demolition. So first of all, a plane would probably never have hit it anyway, because I remember hearing Lear, the guy who owns Lear's, talk about you could never hit that. If you're flying through New York, it'd be like a needle in a haystack to actually run it into the building, the Trade Center. It never would have happened. So again, it's another cover up by our government or the Israelis or the Chinese or the Russians, whoever is behind it. And so this is the point. So they're going to cover up everything because that's what they do. And they're so stupid about it. So now it gets to the point of digital currency. And this is what I keep arguing about. These guys aren't smart enough to do a digital currency. They couldn't do 9/11. They couldn't do the flight to moon. They couldn't do this whole laptop by Hunter Biden where it proves he got paid off and all this money going into Joe Biden, and he's just, it's all illegal. So we know it happened, but it's corrupt, so it'll never end. This is different. This they don't have control of, but in those, so that's why it's hard in those instances. They're all crooked, and so you have to go in with the understanding that the government's crooked. They cover up everything, but they're so stupid about it that everybody knows they covered it up. So when you get to digital currency, it'll never work, and you already know it'll never work. They can't do that. How are they going to fix all the prices? So that's what you have with that, is it'll never work. These guys are too stupid to do it. I mean, 9/11, they couldn't even do it right. I mean, they fly an airplane into it. Maybe, I don't even know if they did, but let's say they did, because I heard it was like a movie. Where did the tail go? Because it doesn't go through the building. It hits the building and stops. So all this part of the plane would fall. So then it would never be hot enough to melt the building. And I love how people are so taken by, like this guy, CNN. They're so taken by, if they say it was because the gas of the engine caused it to melt, they take it and run with it. But when all these engineers come on, they say steel melts at 2,500 degrees. Engine of the airplane only is 700. How could it possibly have melted the building when it's not hot enough? And we've tested it, and there's no way. And then there's all these people saying we heard blasts. You saw the white smoke come out. It's the way a demolition would have happened. So again, it's very frustrating because really we want the truth and we want peace. We don't want war, which we are already in, so the defense contractor can make money. We don't want this whole Ukraine-Russia thing. And we want gold to be at its normal price. Now, in fairness there, I would never have been able to get this. If it was 2,000 an ounce, I'd have been buying 2 or 3 of them. So I am able to buy them because they are keeping the price down, only because I've opened my eyes and realized they're waiting for us. It's about to go through the roof, but at this point, it's not through the roof yet. So that's really what you're looking at. 2 o'clock, I'm at 69 hours. Bobby, I hit 69. So the question is, am I going to go 72? Am I going to go 12 more hours and go to 84? Or am I going to finally eat? it's a hard one because it's hard to get to 72. And when you get there, if you can last another 10 hours, you might want to do that. And really, you're cleaning your body up. Anyway, so that's what happens is you just want the freedom and everything. And this whole Ukraine-Russia war is it's the U.S. and Russia. We won't end the war. Russia wants to end the war, but we won't do it. We won't do a ceasefire. I mean, this is unbelievable. What the hell? What the hell are they doing? Why are we interfering? And then if we are interfering, why won't we end the war? What do we want the war to keep going for? So it's like they're trying to bankrupt everything and starve everybody. And this is madness from Soros. It's all George Soros and Charles Schwab and all those idiots who are playing Hitler, and they want to kill everybody. That's what Hitler did, right? So it's a shame that there's people like that around. There's a shame nobody's really blocking them or taking them out, which is what should happen. But what are you going to do? Excuse me. So that's what's happening. Let's go through the NBA tonight's games. Cleveland in a must-win, -5.5. Memphis -4 in a must-win. Milwaukee -12 is the lock, must-win. And Sacramento +1.5 is a home dog because the one guy's injured. They don't have to win, but if they go down 3-2 and then they got to go to Golden State home game 5, lose to Golden State game 6, and then win at home game 7. So their back's against the wall here. But for sure, Milwaukee, Memphis, and Cleveland have to win. So the one I'm a little afraid of is Memphis because of LeBron, but they're up 3-1. Watch LeBron. He'll rest or he'll do something. But definitely love Milwaukee and Cleveland. So Milwaukee's the lock today. So we're going to start keeping track of the NBA playoffs, which you did really well last year. The NFL draft, we've kind of talked about it. A lot of these teams need defense. They're going after the wrong position. For Houston to go after a quarterback, absolutely ridiculous. For Indy to go after a quarterback, absolutely ridiculous. They need defense. You don't need the quarterback. You can have a serviceable quarterback, run Taylor, play defense, sort of like what Dallas did with Cooper Rush. They were undefeated. I think they lost one game with Cooper Rush, the Philadelphia game. They were doing great. They were just handing the ball off and playing defense, and they're winning every game. So you don't need – what are they going to do with C.J. Stroud or Richardson? What are they going to do with them? These guys stink. What are they going to do? What do you think they're going to do with them? They're going to have a running quarterback? That's the answer? Yeah, look how many Super Bowls Lamar Jackson's won. None. Josh Allen, none. Okay. Then you've got whatchamacallit? You've got come on. Mahomes, Burrow, Rodgers, Brady, those are studs. And then you have Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. And then you have Herbert, who's right up there, who is more of a thrower than a runner. So that's really, you watch Denver, and that's the sleeper this year with Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, Melvin Gordon, and their defense. They'll get some more defense. Look out for Denver. I think they're going to give KC all they want. And KC's coming off of a Super Bowl year. And they were mad because since he went to the Super Bowl last year, now it's Kansas City's turn to be mad. They win the Super Bowl. Now they're going to let down. And here comes Denver probably to take the AFC West. Would not surprise me because of Sean Payton. To answer this question, what's bricks? Why is Comax breaking? It's the same thing as why do I pick Denver? Because of Sean Payton, right? That's changed. Bricks has changed Comax by making them physical. They're just going to keep eating it up at this low price, and it doesn't do the U.S. any good to keep it low. So they're going to make it. They want the price to go up. And there's not a lot of gold and silver left. And everybody knows the Titanic is hit. Everybody knows the paper currencies in Europe and China and Japan and Russia and the U.S. are all fucked. Everybody realizes that. So that's where you're headed. Bobby, where are you today, Bobby? Hope you're okay. Nick, bet the Milwaukee game, Nick. I'll send you an email on that, Nick. Otherwise, I think that's it. So 9/11. So it's all bullshit. They don't prosecute the people. The people that are evil, that are doing these wrong things, they don't prosecute them. They didn't do Madoff. They didn't prosecute J.P. Morgan. They didn't prosecute the SEC, who should all have went to jail because they were as guilty as Madoff, because it wasn't Madoff. He was the figurehead. He wasn't the brains behind it. He's not that smart. This guy looked like an idiot. But again, if you want to lose your money and keep it in Madoff, that's what happened. So you don't want to keep your money in Madoff. You want to keep your money in gold and silver. Nobody can Madoff you. It's here. Here it is. Nobody can fuck you. I got it. It's here. You can't come back to me and say you don't have anything. I do right here. You can't say it doesn't have a value because it's going to the moon, because countries want dollars backed by gold and silver. And that's what it is. So I think I'm going to end it. I am tired. I am hungry. And how we always end it lately.
Teeth sensitivity is so common. Immediately it feels like somebody's poking directly on the nerve. I recommend Sensodyne. Sensodyne toothpaste goes inside the tooth and calms the nerve down. And my patients say, doc, it really works.
It's cooking. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
And I smell what the Rock's cooking. He's cooking silver and gold. That's what he's cooking. All right, everybody, have a good day. I am so hungry, it hurts. I think I'll go to the hot tub and then kill the last 2 hours. So 5 o'clock is 72 hours. So I am 3 hours short. I'm at 69. I really want to get to at least 70. My back's still sore, but I'm okay but if I hot tub it, again, it was because of the way I slept. It really, I was hitting the nerve again. So I got to figure out how to sleep where I don't hit the nerve. If I can get through a night's sleep without hurting it and figuring it out, then I might actually be okay. But I'm actually able to walk better, but it's still in the joint in my right ass, my right hip area. So that's what I'm trying to do. All right, everybody, have a great day. Again, www.teaserking.com. Again, NBA, Cleveland, -5.5. Memphis, -4. Milwaukee, -12. The Lock, Sacramento, +1.5. Those are your 4 NBA games. We hit San Diego yesterday, even though they lost. And we lost Boston, I believe. Didn't expect that they would lose game 5 at home, but that's what happens. So anyway, we'll see. The draft is what, tomorrow? Today's Wednesday. I think it is Wednesday. So the draft's tomorrow. We will talk about it on Friday, who they picked, and I will. I'm sure I'm going to hate the first 4 quarterbacks are not the best quarterbacks. It's amazing how stupid these players are. These GMs who make all this money. It's amazing how stupid they are. Well, let's take C.J. Stroud, because all the Ohio State quarterbacks do well. It's just unbelievable. All right, everybody, I'm going to go. Did you join? Do you have a question or comment? Please ask it. I'll give you a minute. But these quarterbacks are terrible. Will Levis, but nobody wants to give Stetson Bennett or Hooker any credit. Like, really? And why is the Alabama quarterback number 1? Okay, good luck with that, Carolina. You'll be lucky to win 3 games. All right, anything? I'll give you till 2:05. Feel free to ask questions or comments. What else? Buy your gold and silver. All right, I'm going to go www.teaserking.com if you want to get the email. Bobby Bow, you damn right you're late. Yeah, I'm done. I mean, I got 2 hours. I'm now fasted 69 hours. I'm seeing bright lights and everything. So I got 3 hours to go. Now here's the question, Bobby Bow. Would you? He's a liberal, so I was trying to be nice to him. He listens to CNN and Biden. It was all I could do to not throw up. Yeah, isn't college on Saturday? But that's what he watches CNN. What am I supposed to do? It's like the communist in the hot tub. I got a communist here. So I'm going to ask you an A or B question. Would you A, eat in 3 hours at 72 hours? Or would you B, since we've gotten to 72 hours, wait till tomorrow to eat at lunch and I can bank another 17 hours and get to like 90 hours? Now, my back was getting better yesterday until I went to sleep, and it just killed my nerves because I couldn't sleep right, and it kept, all of a sudden my leg was tensing up. I've been fine sitting, but I can walk better than before. But it's like doing a three-peat in baseball, right? You won the first 2 World Series. It's the only chance you get to the 3rd World Series in a row is you had to win the first 2. So I've gone 2 days. I've gone 24, 48, and now I'm at 69 hours. But if I want to do 100, I can do it. But I got to get to 72 to get to 96. So what do I do? Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, it's I haven't eaten since Sunday night. So Monday night, Tuesday night, here's Wednesday night, 72. I was hoping my back would be 100% by now. I'm a little disappointed that it's still, but because it's a nerve, instead of if it was gout or the muscle, it would be fine. But because it's a nerve and I kind of hit the nerve again, I don't know that it starts all over, but it's still a little pinched. So the hot tub yesterday really did a good job. Stretching it out, and it felt much better after I left. I was good last night. I was able to actually walk, and I said to myself, wow, I'm actually walking without, straight up without pain. But as soon as I went to sleep, I couldn't get in a spot that didn't hit the damn nerve. I ended up sleeping on the couch. It didn't really matter. It was a little painful. That's what gets me is the sleeping. Yeah. So what hour are you on again? Well, I'm about to go off, but I'm hanging on for you. Or am I? What do you mean? You feel good? You haven't been swimming or anything, right? I've only been hot tubbing and walking very gingerly in the pool. So I'll go in the pool and I'll take for about maybe 2 minutes. I'm kind of gingerly walking. Then I get to the ladder and I'm putting my foot and I'm stretching. And it's been helpful in the big pool, the stretching. But I'm not swimming. I'm not on the bike. It's hard enough to walk from the car into the gym and back. That's my workout. That's what's hard to do. So what hour are you? I don't understand. You want me to come back, or just go ask me now? So 100 would be tomorrow around 8 p.m. Well, 96 would be 5 p.m. So 9 p.m. would be 100. I started at 5 on Sunday. And I got a lot of veggies that I'm gonna salad. I got my avocado, I got my dark chocolate, I've got I bought a rotisserie chicken Sunday, so I have that to eat, and a lot of veggies, and I think I can cook up. I've been buying squash. So if you cut it up, you can fry it in the pan or, olive oil it It tastes fine. So I put that in with some peppers. And then I got my eggs. So I'm pretty well. It's just, I really need to heal my back because it's been hurting for like a month. And on the vacation, it was getting better just before the vacation. I was able to walk the lake pretty good. And then I went on the damn airplane and it killed it again. And now it's just starting to get better. I don't know if another day is going to do anything. That's my problem. By now, it should have been healed. I've had photography since 18 hours, and we're at 69. So I've had 50 hours of photography. What the fuck? Come on, what are you guys doing in there? Would you hurry it up and hurry and help the nerves? I'm at what hour of the fast? But you answered, yeah, 69. You should go for it. Fuck it. It'd go for the Super Bowl using the football analogy. Laugh out loud. Yeah. That was my stomach. Now I had some water. And I put the tea bag in, and I've had the cinnamon in here. And then I had a coffee and I had a tea. I didn't really drink enough as I probably would have wanted to. Anyway, so I talked about 9/11, how all the architects swear that the airplane could never have caused it to crash. The heat of a plane is only 700 degrees, and you need 2,500 to melt the iron in the building, and the building would never have collapsed. There's never been a building in the world ever that caught on fire and collapsed. Never, because they don't make them to collapse. It's impossible for a normal building to catch on fire and collapse. It can't happen. But you can see all the demolition white smoke on the lower floors, and that's what brought the building down. And the building would never go like this. The building would hit, because you have all these structures in it. So the building would go to this, and it would stop. And then maybe this would crush, and then we'd go to the next one. But it wouldn't go down because it's got this huge support that is going to hold it up. It would never go like that. And it wasn't hot enough to do it. And then there's all this melted steel at the bottom. There's a military grade charge that goes to 4,000 degrees. It's something with the T. I can't think of it. That's what they used to demolition the trade centers. Now we know it was a gold robbery, and we know it was the Israelis behind it, and obviously Bush and whoever other idiots in our government. You want to trust the government, really? So my point is, they're all too stupid, right? They're so stupid. My point was, Bobby, they're so stupid. They didn't even fake it right. You know, what was their excuse? Oh, the engine oil was too hot, and then all the engineers disprove it. So even when they try to cover it up, they can't even do that right. That's why there's no way the digital currency will work. These guys are a bunch of idiots. Here, you know you're going to blow it up, and this is the excuse you use, one that isn't even a good excuse. What are you going to do with the digital dollar? So that's why I don't see the government being capable of doing any type of plan. Let's see. But if you feel diminished returns, you can end it on 72, but you're an INFJ, so I'm sure your intuition will steer you in the right direction. Jesse Ventura agrees, but those guys on the radio bashed him for starting facts. Well, that's because they're paid by the government. The government, it's the same thing here. The government doesn't want competition. Just for you today, Bobby. The government does not want this competition, right? They don't want it. So they're going to, anytime, if I say silver, they're going to say, oh, no, silver's no good. You got to buy dollar, right? That's the problem, is these guys are going to sell you something to get you off of this because they don't want you in the competition. That's why they're going to war with Russia and China, so they don't get the gold standard. Because once they do, the competition for this is gold and silver, and this can't compete. That's the real meaning of any war. It's usually about keeping the dollar and making money, and it's all bullshit, and it's all, you just want to throw up about it. Yeah, I like Jesse. He told it what it's like me. He was best in that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where it was they're after the Predator, and Jesse's like, I don't have time to die. I don't have time to bleed. That's my Jesse. Well, I think my INFJ says if I could do 24 hours because I'm mentally tough, but the question is it going to help me? I don't mind if after tomorrow I am now, my back is fine, but I'm thinking it should be fine now. It's been 72 hours, 60 hours of orthography. My back should not be hurting. So that's really where I'm at now. I can feel it getting better. So then it leads to, well, maybe I won't eat tonight and then eat tomorrow at lunch, not go the full, but go, because if I don't eat at 5, then I go to sleep, I wake up, that's 12 more hours, 5. And if we go to noon, that's 7. So that's another, let's call it 20 hours, which gets me to 92 hours. So let's get to 90. Is that going to help me? But if it is, why isn't it helping me after 72? Like I did my feet are fine. Everything's fine except for my little back. But yesterday it got a lot better in the hot tub. So I'm going to run to the hot tub and just soak and stretch. And it was like it relaxed. But the problem is when I went to sleep, I tightened it back up. I got to relax it again. So that's what I'm going to do. So if I relax it and I'm able to walk pretty good, which I was yesterday, I'll probably now, again, it is tough because I've gone, once you hit that 70-hour mark, 71 hour, you're there. So do another 10 or 20 hours. I mean, really, that's the point. You really could. But to do it, I have to do 72 hours to get to 90. So if I said do 90, you're starting at 0, you're not going to do it. But if you're already at 72, the chances of you doing 90 are much better. You think he's an INFJ? I don't know. It's such a rare thing, Bobby, that I'm getting confused. Who's an INFJ and what to look for? I know there's similar personalities. Is Jesse an introvert? And can he read things? See, what's so good about us, we can read. I can read people, and like I hit the basketball game yesterday, the San Diego against Denver, right? I gave 12, and I took it, and I says, well, they might lose, but they're not going to lose by that much. It's an INFJ moment. Now, I don't know if Jesse predicts stuff. Are you going to eat a certain way coming off the fast? No, I'll have my avocado. I'll have my dark chocolate. I'll probably make a salad and finish the chicken. I'll probably go and get hamburger when I'm ready. I didn't take anything out of the freezer yet, but I think I'll stop and get a hamburger and make 3 pounds of hamburger when I'm ready to eat. And I'll probably eat, 3 of them. But I kind of want to start eating earlier. When I do, I don't want to eat at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. But I don't want to defeat it. I don't want to get Diet Coke, and I don't want to get chocolate. The dark chocolate's okay. I don't want to get a piece of cake or a bagel after doing 72 hours. I want to, it's a salad, and I got a cucumber, and I got, mushrooms and stuff like that. That's what I want to, I'll fry them up with maybe an omelet or something. No, I do sloppy joes, or I make the patties. So what I'll do now is I'm going to make 9 patties. So I'm going to take 3 pounds, patty, garlic, salt, pepper, olive oil, turmeric on it, and then I just broil it in the oven, and I make all 9. But they're all patties, right? They're like going to Wendy's, only much bigger, much healthier, and much cheaper. So that's what I'll do. Yeah, you're going to change up your eating times when you start at Harley? No, because Harley I'm at home. If I start at 7:30 or 8, I'll make my coffee or tea, anyway. I'll be sitting right here. And then my lunch will be 11:30, 12 whenever I'm hungry. And it'll depend. They're in Milwaukee, so they're, I think, an hour ahead of me. So I don't think they'll care. my boss asked me, how do you like to do one-on-ones, little meetings like what we're doing right now, Bobby? I says, that's fine. We can do in the beginning, I think a couple times a week. So I know I'm on the right path. Then after month by month, I'm doing it fine. Then I think once a week got to do it. If you're not too busy and you have, and you have something, otherwise we don't need it, or just get a hold of me when you do it. And that's what I did at Mercedes. It was with my Mercedes boss, I'm contractor, and we'd go in the office, and it was once a week. We would do a one-on-one, and sometimes she would cancel it, and she would just say, this is what's happening at Mercedes. And do I have any questions? I said, no, because after a while, you know what you need to do. Pull the ledger, do a budget, so you're fine with that. It's just waiting for the next month, pull it and give it to them. So I don't foresee that. I can see eating lunch around 11:30, 12, which will be my start of eating. And then I can see 5:30, I don't have to drive home. I'll just put on the hamburger and the salad and the steak or whatever I'm going to make. And then see when I'm at home, if it's 7:30 to 4, now I get time and a half for overtime. Now they have to approve it. I don't normally work it because I'm too fast of a worker. I'm normally done way early. I don't take a long time, and I don't milk. If I'm done, I'm done, and off I go. And I'd rather go to the pool and do this and cook than how do I waste an hour so I can get overtime. So if it's a project I need, I'll do it. But normally I never work overtime. You do the reconciliation there. Yeah, I'll do actual versus budget forecast. I'll do a project report. So they have like 50 projects. I'm going to do a summary page, and then I'm going to do each one. But then a detail page, so you can see there's 50 projects. Here's the cost center, the manager, the amount of the budget, the amount of actual for the year, and other stuff. That's what I did at Mercedes for service agreements. So that's what I'm thinking. She loved that when I told her that. It was right after that. She said, when can you start? So anyway, I did the drug test yesterday. I got there at 8:30 and I was out by 8:40. I mean, it was like, boom, boom, punch in, give them the paper. They called me. It's amazing. I peed like right away. Here's the container. And I had a drink of water before I left. So I went and I didn't have to go, but when you put this down there, all of a sudden, I was able to pee enough out, and I was done in 5 minutes. I was done. I was limping because of my back, but I find I need some ibuprofen once a day now. I was taking it when I flew back from Barcelona. I had 5 of them. I had 2 and then 3. Just as we were leaving the gate, I had 3, and I didn't feel a thing. But I don't want to take too much of it. Who knows? But it does, like when I'm really stinging and I'm really hurting and I can't get to the hot tub, I do take the ibuprofen. It helps, or it gets me to sleep also. But yeah, I mean, that's the idea. I'll have their computer, SAP, Excel, and whatever else I need on it, and a C drive, and then I'll just do the work. So I should get the computer probably next week. I start next Friday, not this Friday. So anyway, let me give you the basketball for today, Bobby. Cleveland -5.5, must win. Memphis -4. I'm a little bit scared with LeBron, but I can see LeBron taking the day off. They're up 3-1. Memphis needs it, and LeBron, I'm a little bit hurt, like Tiger Woods, right? When he's out of it, he always quits early. I got a back injury, but if he's in it, he doesn't quit, right? So Memphis -4, the lock, Milwaukee -12, and Sacramento +1.5. So it's Cleveland, Memphis, Milwaukee, Sacramento. And I went over the money line, and it's a fucking joke. Yesterday, Atlanta beats Boston, right? How that happened, I don't know. They were down 3-1. The money line on Boston's a lane 13. The money line on Boston was -1,000. The money line, if you took Atlanta, you only got 615. So could you imagine money lying in Boston because they're 13-point favorites? They need it to clinch, and you lose 1,000 to win 100, and then you bet Atlanta. And I don't know how anybody could have money lined Atlanta, but let's say you did. You'd only get 650 for your. You'd bet 100 to win 650. It's ridiculous. Why isn't it 1,000, 1,000? If the line's 13-13, or here, Memphis is 4, the Lakers are 4. There's not. Memphis is laying 10, and the Lakers you're laying 2. I don't understand this whole money line. And anybody that bets it, I gotta call them out. Stop betting it, Nick. I don't see the point. You just got burned yesterday. You lost 1,000. You got to win 10 more money lines to win 100s to break even. That's the problem. And the odds suck. You only got 650 back. 1,000 to 6. It's 1,000. I get it, but 1,650. You got to be out of your mind. Of it, you're being made off. Let's put it that way. Let's see, Bobby, where are you? Okay. Yeah, I was shocked. Yeah. And Boston was up by 12 or something like that going into the fourth quarter. Well, this is where it could be fixed. Was the referee for the Kansas City-Cincinnati game there? If that's what you're telling me, I don't think they blew it. I think they let them win. I would then look at the spread in the next game, and we'll bet Boston back. Because Boston blew the lead. That's what happened with Golden State last year. They were up like 20 points, and they lost game 1 to Toronto. And then they were only laying 4 in game 2. That was my 50-star lock, and they won by 35. They were not going to let it happen again, so they got out and just blew them out. And that's what I think Boston's going to do. If they're getting 12-point leads and blowing it, they didn't shit the bed. They didn't blow it. It's all part of the plan. They did it on purpose. Now they get a cheap line, and so they were told they can't win by 13, so they lost it, and now the line will be 4 or 5, and they'll blow them out. Part of the plan. So keep that in mind. They never shit the bed. They never blow it. It's always on purpose. The only thing is that fake 6 is in Atlanta, so maybe they want a game 7 for more exciting ratings. Yeah, I got game 6. No, I think Boston, because then you want to get into the second round. According to that, then Philadelphia wouldn't have swept Brooklyn, and Denver clinched yesterday, and I think there was another clinch yesterday, Phoenix. So I don't buy that, because then all the series would go 7, and then why not have every team in the playoffs? Why are you limiting to these in the play-in game? Why are you doing it? Why don't every team in the league plays a 7-game series? Then you'll be sure of getting a lot of ratings and a lot of that. So I don't know. I don't buy that. I think Boston wins tomorrow. They're not going to lose 2 in a row. What'll happen is they'll win tonight, laying 12. As long as their player plays and he plays the rest of the series, once they start getting momentum, then Miami freaks out, right? So it's not like it's even. It's 1 against 8 here. The 1 seed's down 3-1. So they're going to blow them out tonight. And then it'll be game 6 in Miami, and Miami's going to start feeling the pressure. And as long as the star plays, Milwaukee beats them in 6. And then Miami starts freaking out like, oh my God, we gotta go. And Milwaukee beats them in 7. Milwaukee will win games 5 and 7 for sure. The only spot will be, will Miami win game 6? And we'll see, but I don't think so. Sometimes, that's the thing. They have their star. He wasn't playing. Well, that's why they're losing. I was talking to this Saturday guy about Comex, and he says, well, why is Comex going to blow up now? I said, because it changed. Tom Brady is no longer on New England, right? That's what we talked about yesterday. So you can't use the New England trend. Therefore, you can't. Why is New England losing? Because Brady's not there. Something changed. And that's my point with Comex. Well, why is Comex going to blow up? Because of the BRICS countries going to gold-backed dollars and silver-backed dollars. That's the change. That's what you need to understand is why now. Well, there's always a why now. Why did the Roman Empire fail? because they took the gold and silver out of their coins. So what should have been a gold coin and a silver coin turned into copper and brass, and that was the end of Rome. As soon as you fuck with your currency, you're done. So there was a something that happened. They debased their currency, caused the end of Rome. What are we doing? Yeah, we're hitting the Titanic. This is all that's left of our dollar, right? But because of the BRICS countries going to a gold-backed currency, that is the same as what happened to the Romans. We inflated our dollar to zero, and here comes a new dollar backed by gold, and that's why we're out. So it's always something. Brady's on Tampa. Peyton Manning went to Denver. Russell Wilson went to Denver. Everybody goes to Denver. That's the key to it. That's what you're looking is the trigger that makes it go. I predict they will blow them out tonight. They win a fairly close one in Miami. I think if they win tonight, they'll cover game 7. Game 6, they might not cover depending on the point spread. Because Miami then has their backs against the wall. So Milwaukee's backs against the wall tonight. They're going to blow them out. Here comes Miami now. Their backs against the wall because they know they got to go in Milwaukee game 7. And now they're starting to feel the pressure. They're starting to realize, wait a minute, we beat them. Wait a minute. It's like beating Bob Gibson. Well, you got him once, but you're not going to get him again. Now you got him pissed off, and that's exactly what's happening. So you've got this whole pissed off thing, and that's really what the difference is. Anyway, so that's it's always what's the difference, and that's what changed, right? And then that's where it goes. So it's the BRICS countries going to go back system. That's what changed. It's OPEC, Saudi Arabia saying, we don't want the US dollar anymore. We'll take the yuan. But with the yuan, we're not going to take that. We're going to change it back for gold. So what's really happening is China's actually paying for oil with gold to Russia and Saudi Arabia. So so their gold supply is going down, which shows you how badly they need oil to be selling their gold at these prices. I ain't selling it at $2,000 until there's another zero at the end of it. You're right, Professor. It's all about psychological of the team. Yeah. Well, that's the way it's always been. We got a Jewish person here. The basketball coaches in Europe say that NBA is no longer basketball like it used to be. Defense is often neglected. 20-year-old players dominate their coaches. Yeah, well, that's the whole problem with everything. I apologize. I used to be able to read Hebrew, but I can't do it now. Well, that's the problem. I can't even watch basketball since Magic and Bird left and a little bit of Jordan and Isaiah left. I can't watch it. It's not these guys can't touch them or it's a foul. And I agree with you. The 20-year-olds. The coaches are so bad they just let the players walk all over them. Could you imagine Bobby Knight today taking this shit from these guys? He'd kill them. Bobby, oh yeah, that reminds me, Professor. What can I do to get that little bit of glue from the tape of the package of my Cougar ends? I thought you liked the Kobe too. Well. So I would probably, if I had this, can you not wet this? Can you not wet the coin and this is an eyeglass thing? Just pull it off. I mean, you don't want to start scratching it. Can you do that? Otherwise, I really probably wouldn't do anything because I don't think it hurts the value. You're buying the 1 ounce, right? That's what you're buying. 1 troy ounce, $9.99 fine silver. That's what you're buying. So if it has a little bit of glue on it, I don't think it's a big deal. I think you're fine with it. Yeah, you can put water on it. Water's not going to hurt it. Kobe what? Kobe meat or the Cougaran? You're calling the Cougaran Kobe? Yeah, but you can put water on your gold. Just dry it. You don't want to leave it in. You don't want to. I don't want to wet all my silver and leave it in this wet. So I'm of course going to dry it, but use this to dry it. You don't want to use. You really don't want to use this to dry it. And you certainly don't want to use this to dry it. You can find a lens cleaner cloth or something very soft. Don't use a towel. You'll fuck it up. Kobe Bryant. You got it. Yeah, I showed you that. You said it flew up when he died. Oh, no, I don't think I said that, but the price, yeah. Yeah, the value went up a lot. Yeah. By the way, I heard that Rodgers trade to the Jets. Yeah, I heard that last night. He's official. I went through the draft also, and I basically said the Jets should be drafting some wide receivers. They're strong defensively. They have good running backs if they're healthy. Maybe an offensive lineman in the third round from like Ohio State or something, and then just simply get a couple of offensive linemen, get another running back, get the kid from UCLA who's really good, Charbonneau, and then get some wide receivers, which you can get late, and then maybe a couple of extra defensive players. But look for the Jets to beat Buffalo. No, I don't know who Buffalo is. Is Von Miller still playing? Is Micah Hyde? Are they both still in Buffalo and still playing, or are they free agents and gone, or are they just injured? Von Miller, I don't think will be back this year, or maybe late, because that type of injury happened like in November. He's out till November. Bobby, you think they're a Super Bowl contender? They can win the division. Well, let's see what they draft, but yes, only because New England sucks and Miami sucks, right? What's New England going to do with unless they play Zappe? They don't have receivers and they don't have running backs. Then you got Miami. They got Tagliabue, who's going to get concussion 12 times this year. They don't really have a good defense. You got Aaron Rodgers, and he's hopefully going to play like Aaron Rodgers. You've got the defense. So you've got one of the few teams that has Aaron Rodgers and a good defense. And the last thing I can remember is Tom Brady on Tampa with Tom Brady and this wonderful defense, and you added Gronk. So give him a tight end. There's a tight end out of Utah. Kincaid is very good. There's a tight end out of Bowers out of Georgia is not coming out. There's a guy out of Kansas. I don't think he's coming out. And then there's the guy from Notre Dame, Meyer, who I think is going to Cincinnati. I hope so. God, I pray. Chase and Meyer with Burrow. Sorry, Bobby. You're not getting to the Super Bowl next year. If I get Meyer and Chase with Burrow and then pick up a few linemen, my defense is good. And I got Burrow, so I don't need much else. Josh Allen chokes and Mac Jones is a complete joke. Exactly. Miami is still trying to get Brady. Oh, well, that'll be a really crowded division if Rodgers against. Can you believe that one? So you'd have Miami playing the Jets twice a year, Brady against Rodgers. That would be phenomenal. Probably an overgame. Well, I don't know. The Jets have too strong a defense. But Buffalo, is Von Miller and Micah Hyde playing? I don't know. Burrow is the man, but they can't stop Mahomes. He will win number 3 next year. I don't think so. You know who I'm picking to win that division? Denver. I think Sean Payton with Russell Wilson. He's got Melvin Gordon. They'll pick up some defense. They'll probably go after Kamara or Thomas from New Orleans because it's Sean Payton. And he'll probably go after some defensive guys from New Orleans because he's Sean Payton. They all want to play for him, not the New Orleans coach. So if he can pick up Kamara or Thomas from New Orleans to go with that, I see Sean Payton beating Kansas City because I think they're going to be a little flat this year because they won the Super Bowl. They're going to be flat. San Diego is also going to give them all kinds of problems. So, again, Khalil Mack and Bosa and James, and if they can pick up Lambert, Ham, and Mel Blount in the draft, they can pick up those 3 on their defense. San Diego would beat Kansas City. Are they smart enough? I don't know, but that's who they need to get to. But Mahomes, absolutely, Bobby, you're dead on. Buy the cards, absolutely. I only got the one Mahomes card because I haven't really bought cards. I got so much cards it's hard to buy more. I really have to sell them. But I do have that 50 count Mahomes, which I paid $50 for because the guy doesn't understand grading. I'm looking at a PSA 10 and he's selling it for $50 because that's what it books for as a Nearman 8 and Beckett, not a PSA 10. I'm grading it a PSA 10, so the $50 I paid for it be worth 10,000. I mean, at least it's Mahomes, a 50 count Mahomes card now. Another Super Bowl, yeah, that's the guy to go after is Mahomes, and then let's see Burrow get start accumulating. That'd be fascinating. Burrow and Mahomes against Rodgers and Brady. That would be a hell of a championship games. Oh no, Brady's on Miami. That's Miami and the Jets. Oh well, shit! You can't have all four in the championship game. Oh my God, that's right. They're in the AFC now. Mahomes going to have problems. You got Brady and Rodgers with him and Burrow. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And you got Herbert and Russell Wilson. Jesus Christ, what a loaded AFC you're going to have. Well, for sure, Rodgers is there if Brady goes. And I don't buy Brady's retirement. You know, of all people, Bobby, you don't want to give it up yet, right? You know, once you give up baseball, you're done. And if you can still play, you're playing another year and you're going to make your $10 million. There's no way you're going to do it. And that's Brady, as long as he can still, because he knows once he retires, he's done. If he goes to Miami, he'll play. Watch. I did that with a recruiter today. I got called for a job and I said, well, I already got it. And she says to me, so I started talking economics with her to help her. Did he move back in his house by you? Or did he let you have it? And then he's saying, Bobby, let me have a few rooms. So she starts talking. I'm trying to think. Oh, and she says, are you retired? And I said, well, when gold and silver goes up, I'm retired. Put it that way. But I says, as long as I can make good money, I've already put in all the hard work, the master's, economics, and worked 20 years. Now it's gravy, right? Now I go to work. They're paying me a lot of money. I might as well keep working at this money. And I'll always give it to Daria or Jenna or whatever. And, so I'll keep working for them. But, keeps me busy plus doing this. So I said to her, I'm like Tom Brady at this point. I've already put in all the work. Now it's a piece of cake to do Excel and SAP and all my finance stuff. It's a piece of cake. So what you can do in 8 hours, I can do in 4. So what do I care? So that's really the point of it is that's what I told her. I says, I've already done the work. I don't mind if they're going to pay me right. If it's going to be a bad job like the last one where the pay's not going to be good, I'm not going to do it. But if you're going to give me good pay and it's a good job, yeah, I'll work a little bit more. And I can work remotely, so I might move to Vegas or I might move to Spain or Portugal and work from there. If it's remote, what do I care? My money will go a lot farther in Europe until it gets blown up. I think he's coming back too. I don't think he's coming back here, though. Most likely Miami. I'll buy his house then, Bobby. You got silver. It's a salary role or hourly. I'm going to work hourly. It's a contract role. Most of them are hourly, and it's fine. I don't mind. I don't care. That way I get paid for all my hours, and I get time and a half for overtime, which is huge. So I don't mind working 5 hours of overtime a week would be, well, not a week, but a month would be incredible. But no, that's common. At Mercedes, it was hourly, and it was 40 hours. I loved it. I got in at like 8 o'clock and I was gone by 4:30, half hour lunch. I'm home eating my stuff by 5 o'clock. It was perfect. Anyway, what else? So the Hebrew guy left. He came on real quick, made a quick comment about coaches and left. Okay. That other guy was new too today. I don't know who he was. With all the, I'm a CNN guy, I'm a communist, and I'm thinking, well, I got a guy for you at the hot tub you can talk to. Bobby, as long as they pay me, I don't care if it's Hardly paying me with a contract house. As long as I get a check every other week, I don't care who pays me. And the beauty of biweekly is there's 2 times during the year, 2 months, you get the third paycheck. And you really recognize it the month before. So let's say I get 2 checks in September, neither of them pay rent. And then that 1st of October pays rent. And then you got your November. And then the last one of October pays November's rent. So you're getting two checks in September with no rent payment. That's the gravy that you get. So you get 5 checks in 4 weeks. 2 of them pay the 2 different rents. But that's what I love about it. So it's kind of like, then you can really pound it. That's when I go buy gold. When I get a check and I don't have to pay rent with it, it's gold. So I don't know how much longer we got till the COMEX blows up, but I put this video on, so I'm going to show you. Not this one, another one. I had it on, so I had to show you, but I showed this one.
Imagine a distant future where your most ambitious ideas can be made real.
Fucking commercial.
As far as commodities are concerned.
Okay, so watch this one. It's only a 10-minute one. I think it's from another show, but I put 5 minutes on it. And he's basically just, get out of paper, buy the physical. It's going through the roof, our normal talk. I see that he asked how to buy gold. Yeah. Yeah, I had it out. I was about to go until you got on, and then I'm like, okay, I can wait for Bobby. I got to wait for the INFJs. Well, because I talked him into. Here's the most basic principle: no risk, high return. High risk, no return. Which one would you rather have? No risk. Going to go up to 1,000 or 2. High risk going to 0. Even if you got it in a money market, you've got, as they said, you've got high risk. Can you get it out of the bank? Then what's the money going to be worth? I got it down to here, Bobby. I'm about to rip it in half again. This is all that's left of your dollar is this. And it's hit the Titanic. That's all that's left. I was watching Leave It to Beaver this morning when I woke up. A soda for 29 cents, a hamburger for like 70, not even $1, 75 cents. That's what happened to the dollar. You still had it backed by gold, and that's what it was. It was actually worth something. So now it's just the value of the money has gone, and that's why things are more expensive, as I tried to explain. And that's all it is. It's just simply you got more. You got less value in the dollar. So do I want to keep it in? Do I want to keep it in a money market? What's the stock value? What's Microsoft going to be? Well, let's say it's $150 a share, $150 a share. What's it going to go to? It ain't going to dollars because they're not going to be here. That's been my question: is what happens, or does it go to the new dollar that they blame on the Russians? Going, oh, wait, this new dollar, this new plastic Canadian money that we're going to use is now that. Now, I know the euro, the yen, and the dollar are coming out with new dollars in 2024. I don't think they can wait. I think that'll come out by September because that's when the shit hits the fan. But, that's what we're really, it's not will it happen, it's when will it happen. I'm not worried silver's going to hit 2,000. It's just now, or do I got to wait another 6 months? That's it. It's not because it's all because Brady's not on New England and the BRICS countries are coming out with a dollar backed by gold. And before the U.S. would kill the country, Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi wanted to come out with gold backed currency, and they killed them. Only they can't kill the Chinese and the Russians. Although that's why all of a sudden you see you can see the war going as they're trying to prevent them from doing it, but they can't. I mean, what are they going to do? So that's really the problem. But now, since we're run by the Chinese, uh, I don't. He's not going to go war with himself. If Xi's running Biden, you think he's going to go to war with himself? Let's go to war. No, he's going to say, "You stand down, and we'll win." And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're not going to invade China, but they're making it look like, oh, it's over Taiwan. Yeah, bullshit. Why would you go to war over Taiwan? Who cares? All they do is make microchips there. So go in and take, do whatever. You don't need to go to war. Just do what you do here. You put people in the government and they'll run it. And that's what you're doing here. You got all these Chinese in the government. So what's the difference? Anyway, so I'm going to keep track of the baskets. Cleveland, Memphis, Milwaukee, and Sac, all four need it. All four back against the wall. The only one I'm a little worried is when Memphis, you got to lay 4 against LeBron, but I think LeBron will be, I'm a little too tired, especially if they get down. If they get down like 15 points, he's out. He's going to Tiger Woods. He's going to say, you know what, we're going to rest him for the next game because we're up 3-2 now and we're going back to LA. That's what they'll do. They'll pull a Tiger Woods. Turkish Airlines Euro League. I've heard of Turkish Airlines. Do you know there's hyperinflation going on in Turkey now? Although they did buy a lot of gold. I think what a lot of countries are doing is they're buying a lot of they're inflating their money to buy gold with. So if I just print money, I can buy gold. And JP Morgan's keeping the price at 2,000. So they're waiting for everybody. So JP Morgan must be in on this where they're keeping that price down so everybody can buy it. So Bobby, I think once the supply is gone and there's no more keeping it down, it's gone. You're going to see at least 1 0 after gold and at least 2 zeros after silver. I can't imagine silver doesn't go to 500 to 1,000 in 5 minutes. Because once it starts, Katie bar the door, as they would say, or whoa Nelly, as Keith Jackson would say. I was watching some old football. Man, you got Chris Schenkel and Woody Hayes and Keith Jackson and Kurt Gowdy doing a Rose Bowl. I mean, this is now you got Jim Nance and these fucking morons doing it. It's just hard to watch when you're used to these incredible announcers. Keith Jackson and Chris Schenkel, and you got to now watch these guys, Bozo and Bluto. I mean, it's just so hard. All right, 3:00. I'm hungry. I can smell what the Rock. What is the Rock cooking for me for dinner tonight? I don't know. I don't know if I can take another day, Bobby. I'm going to go soak in the hot tub and probably come home and start eating. I might not eat a lot, but it fucks up once the autography is done, it's done. So if I start eating an avocado and dark chocolate, the autography is done. I wish there was something I could eat. Now I couldn't drink. I can drink 5 more glasses of water. Will probably curb my appetite. I have not had enough water today, but that's it. So you're wrapping up the fast? Probably. I'm going to the hot tub now. I need to soak my back. When I get home, let's see. I'm going to be hot because of the heat in the hot tub. So I might just go through with a bunch of water and then see if I'm hungry. But I got avocado and dark chocolate staring at me. I got a big freaking salad that I just bought, the lettuce, the peppers, and I got the chicken in there. So it's okay. Monday I didn't have. Tuesday I don't know that I can wait one more day for this stuff. Plus I don't know how long the veggies will go. Although I left the mushrooms wrapped, the celery's wrapped, the cucumbers wrapped, and the broccoli's wrapped. So I kept them all wrapped, so they should be okay. It's my red and yellow peppers I'm worried about because they tend to get soft. So we'll see. How about another black coffee? I don't have black coffee. I put half and half in it. Here, I'll show you. This is what you can put in your coffee. So this is fine. This is actually not bad. It's half and half, and it's 100% real milk and cream. And if you look at, I got, uh, I only got 1 gram of sugar in here. And then if I look in the ingredients, vitamin D, ingredients, milk and cream, contains milk produced in a facility that also produces nuts and soy. Land O'Lakes, brand mark. Fuck, that's it. That's all they got in here is milk and cream. That's what's so good about it. There's really, now there was a light. I don't want to get anything light or fat free, never. Because the chemicals they put in fuck you up. So you really want regular, which is what I always get now. Yep, so I got a celery and I got a cucumber and waiting to eat. So I don't know. Again, if I felt my back would be better after waiting tomorrow, I might do it, but I don't know that this is a autography thing. I mean, it probably is. It's a nerve, but we'll see. Let's see what happens in the hot tub. I have an ex-girlfriend from Land O'Lakes. Well, there you go. So she can get us some half and half. Anyway, I think that's about it. I'm like seeing things. I'm like tired. It was hard sleeping and then I'm not eating. So I was really getting a little bit tired, but I'll probably have a water, go take a hot tub. So it's 3:00. I think I better get going. Really, I can start eating at 5. I might wait till 6 to eat because get another hour, and so it'll give me 73. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. If the photography hadn't worked, that's my point, Bobby. I don't know if it hasn't worked by now. Is it going to work? But I didn't mind doing this because of all the bullshit I ate in Spain and Barcelona. You know, I'd have a little pastry with bread. You know, you'd eat your eggs and bacon, and then there's a little pastry or roll you eat, which you shouldn't, but you're hungry. I had honeydew every day, coffee and orange juice, or tea and orange juice, and then some meat, some ham and some turkey. So that was my breakfast. I'd eat like 5 eggs. I'd scoop eggs, and then I'd go back and get more eggs and a little bit of roll, but it's such a small little roll. I didn't think that really bothered me, and I didn't care about the butter. That's fine. So that's what I had every day. But then when we were out, I would have dark chocolate. So I went to the grocery store. I got avocado, dark chocolate, and strawberries. That was, everybody's going to get, other shit, and I'm getting that. I think I did get an ice cream one day, or was that here? No, I think I got an ice cream there once. I was just really hungry, and I was like, okay. Yeah, one day I had a pizza. I couldn't find a restaurant, and I couldn't walk. And I'm walking around the hotel, and I see a cafe, and I go to the cafe. The fucking cafe doesn't serve dinner till 8:00, and it was 6:30. What do you mean you don't serve till 8? So I went to another cafe, and they didn't. It was just all like sandwich, like Subway type of things. What the fuck? What are you serving? I don't even know what they were serving. So I went to another, and I couldn't walk anymore. So there was a Domino's. I fuck it, and I got the Meat Lovers Domino. It was just a few pieces. I think it was a 4-piece pizza, so I got 4 pieces. But but that's what I'm trying to clean. So when I do this, it's also to clean out all that bullshit. Thanks for sticking around. My pleasure, Bobby. I've been in the middle for ice cream since yesterday. I've been in the middle for ice cream. Oh, go have ice cream. There's nothing wrong with it if you have like the little container and you eat the container and that's it. So I do that like on Saturday or Sunday. Saturday I go get my General Chow. I'll stop at like Speedway and I'll get a Diet Pepsi Slurpee, and I might get chips or an ice cream. Oh, I won't get chocolate. I'll get dark chocolate. But once in a while, I'll go to the grocery store and I'll pick up a bagel or a donut, and I'll have that as a little snack on like a Sunday. But it's a once in a week thing. Otherwise, you go crazy. You can only eat the same thing so many times, and that's why I get chicken a little bit. So I get a steak. That's why I get a roast. That's why I get a hamburger. Fish is a little expensive, so I haven't gotten that, and that's why I go to the rib place. But if I go there, I might go there Friday. I probably won't get ribs. I'll probably just get roasted chicken because the barbecue sauce is giving me a problem. It's too sweet, so I think I want to have like get the steak fries and the salad and get the half barbecue chicken. So I think I'll do that, but I won't put the thing on. Otherwise, I get the ribs and there's too much barbecue sauce. It kills me if I go there. But Saturday I'll go Chinese. So yeah, I look forward to it. That way, you're like, well, here when I'm fasting, I'm really no dinner, no food Monday, no food Tuesday, and a little bit on Wednesday. So it does save on the grocery shopping. I've been in the mood for ice cream since yesterday. What kind of ice cream? Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry? Sometimes I like Neapolitan because I like the 3 flavors. And then normally I like, if I'm going to get it, I get the chocolate, triple chocolate with almond, something chocolate. And then I'll do that. Or what I've been doing, that's why I got the Cool Whip. So like for the holidays, I got a tub of chocolate with the Cool Whip. They take 3-4 scoops of that, take a couple of Cool Whips, and then I'll have that every couple of days, and then that's it. Then I don't have it again. So I kind of treat myself. Small chocolate soft serve with sprinkles. Oh, you're not getting go get the container from like, Kroger's or something, or Meijer's. Get the little, I don't know, what is a pint versus a small chocolate. I mean, sprinkles, and you got cone or cup it? You probably cup it, because the cone's carbs. See, that's how I would do it. If I'm going to get that, I'm getting it in a cup because I don't want the carbs of the cone. I at least want, and I'm going to do it, but this way I want to have the carbs. All right, Bobby, I'm going to take off. I'm going to hot tub and see how my back is and hopefully fix it. And then I don't know if I'll sleep on the couch, or I don't even care if I sleep. I just want to get that one day where I can walk and I'm okay. I think I can walk fine now. I just walked there. It seems like it's almost like I sprained my thighs or something. If I put it at the wrong direction, it hurts. I got to figure out how to walk where I can pretty much walk and not hurt. I was walking upright for the first time in 2 weeks yesterday. At the airport, I was squint over. But if I'm in a squint position and my legs are bent, I don't have pain, so I can do that. Okay, Bobby. All right. Yep. Okay. Out of here. Good luck tonight on the baskets. We'll talk draft tomorrow, gold, silver. We know what's going to happen there. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a nice night.